ABC Sports Control, New York, Jim Lampley.
Good afternoon again. I'll be here with you live now throughout the rest of the day from our studio in New York as you keep up to date with the first round of the second year of United States Football League playoff action. Some of you will be seeing the Eastern Conference game between the New Jersey Generals and the Philadelphia Stars, the game to be played in Franklin Field. The Stars, with the league's best record, lost only twice during the season, but both of those losses were to New Jersey. A steady rain has been pelting Franklin Field all morning. It has just recently stopped, but the field is still wet for that game between ball-control teams. The rest of you will see the Michigan Panthers at 10-8 against the Los Angeles Express with the same record. Steve Young against Bobby Hebert, and of course the Panthers are the league's defending champions, trying to reestablish themselves as one of the top teams in the league as they go into these playoffs. Tomorrow's games here on ABC Sports will match the Tampa Bay Bandits against the Birmingham Stallions. Both teams won 14 games during the regular season, and the two meetings between those two teams were split. The other game will match the Arizona Wranglers with the league's best defense against the Houston Gamblers with the most talked about offense in football. Of course, Jim Kelly, the record-breaking touchdown pass thrower at quarterback for Houston, and that game will be played in the Astrodome. But now we're ready for the two games to be played here today. I'll be here to keep you up to date on the full picture of what's going on in these playoffs, and we'll take you out to your ballpark and your announcers immediately after this.
Time. It takes time to create quality. The quality taste of Budweiser. Time to select the choicest ingredients. For exclusive beechwood aging, to brew the distinctively clean, crisp taste of Budweiser. Quality taste. That's what people want in a cold glass of beer, and this is the one they want. Somebody still cares about quality.
This is Franklin Field, University of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, an arena of great sports history. And today, the New Jersey Generals and Philadelphia Stars meet as 8 USFL teams begin the fight for the right to put their name on this championship trophy. ABC Sports presents the Divisional Playoffs for the United States Football League 1984. The quarterbacks, Brian Sipes, the Generals, NFL veteran, who has been through all the football wars. Chuck Fusina, who hungers to lead the Stars to a title after just missing a year ago. It was here at Franklin Field, University of Pennsylvania, that one of television's longest-running and most successful sports series started April 1961. ABC's Wide World of Sports, presenting coverage of the Penn Relays. And prior to that, many great college football games played on this field, the Pennsylvania Quakers being one of the foundation members of the development of collegiate football in this country. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, and as you probably know, this will be the third meeting of the season between the New Jersey Generals and the Philadelphia Stars. The Stars lost only twice during the past season, but both those losses to the Generals. And if you are a Philadelphia partisan, you probably want to say the Stars beat themselves. First game, 17-14, the Stars had 5 turnovers.
It's a mistake.
In the second meeting last week, it was a 16-10 loss to the Stars. They had 2 turnovers, but 9 accepted penalties. And most of the penalties coming at critical times in the game, like the one that gave the Generals a second chance at a field goal. They took it and took the lead.
During the last kick, Philadelphia had 12 players participating. The play goes over. 4th down.
So you have to ask, do we have a jinx building here? Stars coach Jim Mora.
We've played New Jersey 4 times in 2 years, okay? We beat them twice last year, and they've beaten us twice this year. I mean, that's 50-50, so I don't feel that they've got a jinx on us. I don't think our players think that. I don't know what causes a jinx. You know, I've been with some teams as a coach and a player where you had a difficult time in another play. I think over a long haul, maybe it becomes a psychological thing for your guys, but hey, those things end too.
Our analyst is Lynn Swan. Swanee? Does the past have something to do with the present?
Absolutely. When the past has something to do with the physical present, I think it's easier to overcome. When it's in your head, when it's mental, psychological, it's very difficult to overcome, and that's what Philadelphia has to do today. But when you look at these two teams, and you first look at Herschel Walker, who's one of the principals in this ball game, you look at two men who have a great deal of pride in their game. Herschel has been known to tiptoe just a bit, and he's had his problems this year with shoulder injuries and not running very hard. Well, he's a man with a great deal of pride, and you know he wants to play this football game today. Last week against Philadelphia, in the fourth quarter, he showed that he has the strength, the power, and the speed, and the desire on that catch going for 50 yards and a touchdown in the fourth period of that ball game. Someone who has as much pride, if not more, is Kelvin Bryant. Last year's MVP, he was second in rushing this year. He sat out 2 ball games because of injuries. Last week, he was benched for the first half because he was late. 2 young men who are poised at the starting gate on the first of 3 legs for what both teams hope will be in the championship in 1984.
The Generals, with a record of 14-4, wild card team, division champions Philadelphia Stars 16-2. On the tee in a moment.
The United States Football League is an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Today's divisional playoff game is being sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers and proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. By Dodge, official cars and trucks of the USFL. By McDonald's, sponsors of amateur sports from the neighborhood to the 1984 Olympics. And by Ryder Truck. It's Ryder or it's wrong.
The audio portion of this show has been interrupted from its network source. WPBI-TV will continue to carry the picture until the audio is restored. Please do not call the station. The audio portion of this show has been interrupted from its network source. WPBI-TV will continue to carry the picture until the audio is restored. Please do not call the station. The audio portion of this show has been interrupted from its network source. WPBI-TV will continue to carry the picture until the audio is restored. Please do not call the station.
Up a lot. It's second down and 8 as Sipe goes to the air again, over the middle with it. Sam Bowers makes the catch, dives ahead, gets a first down. It is on the Philadelphia side of the field at the Stars 46. Howard and Lush made the tackle.
You can expect to see a lot of passes like that from Brian Sipe to his receivers. They like to throw the kind of passes where the wide receivers are on the sideline and you put the ball out of bounds or going deep along the sidelines. If they're not open, look for Herschel Walker, Coughlin, or back to be in the middle along with the tight end, coming back, holding the linebackers underneath for the short control passing game.
Walker's first carry of the ball game. He is brought down. Sam Mills, number 54, had looped in from the other side, dove into the stack. He and George Cooper make the tackle.
Herschel Walker, he likes to run to the outside, does not run a lot inside. They reserve that for Maurice Coughlin, who has gained over 1,000 yards for the Generals on the regular season games.
He lost almost 2 yards on that carry, so call it second down and about 12 for New Jersey. The opening possession of the football game. The winner goes on to meet the winner of the Tampa Bay-Birmingham game, which will be played as seen here on ABC tomorrow. Walker goes the other way in motion. Philadelphia showing blitz. 7-man front. Quick pop. Jeff Speck tied in. First down as he reaches the 35. George Cooper brought him down. They showed Sipe blitz. He had the alternate play called, and he just popped it right to Jeff Speck.
The man without the tie and the dark coat is Donald Trump, and what he just had a chance to see was the experience of Brian Sipe, seeing the blitz and calling the blitz control route, the blitzing type of defense that we expect to see a lot on the Philadelphia Stars this afternoon. Vince Tobin is their defensive coordinator.
Mark it on the 36 of Philadelphia. First down, New Jersey. Whistle. Somebody must have moved along the front. There was still plenty of time left on the clock.
Offensive player. Keith, we know pretty much how these teams are going to play, or how New Jersey is going to play offensively. Herschel going to the outside, Maurice Coughlin inside in the short control passing game. But let's talk about the importance of getting on the scoreboard first. As we take a look at the officials for today, Ted Humphrey, the referee, our head man.
I would imagine they're hoping that they don't have the same kind of a chore that Burl Sorgan and company had last week in the matchup, because about half the ball game was taken up by fistfights and pushing and shoving. But there is definitely feeling, but greater concentration for this one, because the loser goes home today. It is first down and 15 as the ball comes back to the 41, and Walker looks for daylight over the right side, fumbles the football. New Jersey keeps it. Ball may be getting a little wet because of the earlier rain on the rug. The ball was caught loose and knocked loose, literally. It looked like Kent Hall was the man who covered it.
Well, watch the way Herschel comes inside. Again, he's a strong running back, but he doesn't run real hard here. He's tiptoeing just a bit, and right there from the outside, one of the players knocked that ball loose from Herschel Walker. Number 96, Don Fielder, had a chance, but he just didn't see the football in terms of trying to recover it. Big break for the Generals.
On second down and 16, Sipe goes down the middle, and it is caught by Sam Bowers. That's a tough catch because Sam was taking a hit just as the ball arrived.
Sam Bowers is a big tight end, lost his job after he did not come back fast enough from an ankle injury. They said it was a sprain. I have to believe it might have been a fracture. He now has a starting job back. You see his strength. He always catches the ball well in the crowd. Right there, number 23, Antonio Gibson, Had he got a jump on that ball, could have picked it off. He had the right angle, gave him a good hit, took him down. But Sam Bowers has the ball inside the 30 of New Jersey.
First contact was with Mike Johnson, the rookie linebacker from Virginia Tech, and he sort of let him get away from it. Here's Walker now on 3rd down and 3. And he's going to have the first down as he crosses the 25. Sam Mills at the bottom of the stack.
Keith, I began talking about the importance and the attitude of these ball clubs. If New Jersey gets on the scoreboard, that immediately puts them in the same position they've always been against Philadelphia in the last 2 games, out in front. And that has to work heavily on the minds of the Philadelphia Stars. They're consuming the clock. Already it's down to 10 minutes and 17 seconds. It's going to be at least a 5.5 minute drive if they maintain possession.
The best way to play New Jersey is get out and get ahead of them. No doubt about it. It is a first down. The ball at the 25. And Sipe back on the first down. Looks and goes to the outside. And the pass is dropped by Jeff Spector, the tight end.
Unlike Jeff Speck, he came in and did a very good job catching the football for New Jersey when Sam Bowers was injured. That one just rolls off his fingertip. Again, the short passing game. He just angles to the outside. Brian Sipe has got the angle on the defensive back right there. He just fades his body away from the ball instead of keeping the proper distance so he can make the catch.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. Marcus Hackett is in at the wide receiver spot along with Danny Knight. The wide receivers have not seen the football as yet. Sipe gives the ball to Carthen. Carthen tries to bounce to the outside. And he gets about 2, maybe 3, as Mike Johnson stayed at home at the inside linebacking position and brought him down. So they're looking now at 3rd and long. It's a long 7. Carthen and Walker both having over 1,000 yards in the same backfield, an unusual happening in professional football these days.
Kevin Long and Tim Spencer, the only 2 backs who have done it in consecutive years for the Arizona Wranglers. Rocky Bly and Franco Harris did it for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
3rd and long from the 23 of Philadelphia. Stars almost jumped. Sipe's pass down the middle, intercepted. It is picked off by Scott Werner, the nickelback. And Scott Werner brings the ball back out to the 40-yard line for Philadelphia. So the cagey Scott Werner out of Georgia steps in front of the intended receiver, and the Generals have a turnover.
Well, coming into this ball game, Philadelphia was tied with Birmingham in the number of takeaway, giveaway advantages with a +18. Scott Werner was a starting back for the team last year out of Georgia. With the addition of Garcia Lane at the cornerback, Antonio Gibson moved to safety. He's a nickelback. He's a tough hitter right there. Real tough, big play for a team early in the first period. First turnover. We'll see if they can take advantage of it.
Scott Werner. They went to the well too often with a tight end, and Scott coming in as the 5th defensive back, anticipated tight end and picked it off. There's the offensive unit for the Stars as they come to the line of scrimmage. First down, just short of the 40. And they run it with David Riley, the fullback, carrying. He gets a couple of yards. New Jersey had the football for 10 plays. They ran it off over a distance of 53 yards and ran off 5 minutes and 54 seconds on the clock. And then were intercepted. Ball is at the 43, 2nd down and 7. Fusina at quarterback. Setbacks are Riley and Bryant. Willie Collier, Scott Fitzke, wide people. Up front, you've got Oates at 265, Gilbert 270, Oates at 270, Comiskey 290, Eatman 270, and Ken Dunnick 6'6", 245, the tight end. Steve Folsom out with a sore hamstring. Will not play today. And Fusina on 2nd down gives to Kelvin Bryant. And he's up to about the 45. They'll be looking now at 3rd and 5.
Last week, Philadelphia, on their 2nd possession, ran the ball on their first 2 attempts and got nowhere. On their first possession last week, they passed the ball initially, and they had their most success. They also had their best success in the second half throwing the football early to Kelvin Bryant when he finally came into the ball game.
New Jersey defensive unit, Lockett, Woodland Byrne, linebackers, and here's where the veteran leadership shows up. Harper, LeClaire, Joyce, and Leopold. The secondary, Justin Williams, Johnson, and Barbaro. Third down and 5 for Philadelphia. About 48% on the regular season. Fusina to throw it for the first time. Will pull it down and run for the first down. Hook slides down at the New Jersey 45. First down start. They gave him half an acre, and he took it.
Number 27, Gregory Johnson, came up from the safety position after Chuck went into his little hook slide there, and he jumped over him. If he had tagged him when he first went into the slide, that ball would have been marked back another 2 yards, Keith.
Well, they probably have been lectured by the officials that we're not going to tolerate all of the fighting and scuffling we had last week. So that may have had something to do with it. It is first down at the New Jersey 45. Herbert Harris is the man in motion. Sun starts to come out. Give it to Kelvin Bryant. Little change of pace. He's in trouble. Going the other way. Fusina gives him a big block. Eatman gives him another one. Now they've got him way back. New Jersey kept penetrating and penetrating and penetrating, and they finally threw him for a big loss. And you know what? Chuck Fusina, the Philadelphia quarterback, threw a whale of a block on Gary Barbaro, and Barbaro is hurt.
And Barbaro is hurt. He came out of the ball game last week. They said he could have played if it were necessary. They chose to keep him out to rest him because they knew the playoffs were next week and they were in.
That's that bad knee.
Now, Gary Barbaro comes back in, and he was blindsided because he did not see Chuck Fusina. Kelvin Bryant was scrambling, and Gary Barbaro
That's the same knee, I think, that he had arthroscopic surgery on, or at least he had to leave for 2 games this season. We've got a timeout with no score. So the New Jersey Generals, with Gary Barbaro being helped off the field, re-injuring the knee, lose some of the veteran leadership in the secondary. Billy Caesar comes in now. He has been around himself, but he's not as big and strong as Barbaro. So Gary's loss will be felt probably before the day is over. They're way back on the Philadelphia side of the field. Second down, throw a swing pass, screen out to David Riley. Riley is run down at about midfield by Jim LeClaire. The man who gave Philadelphia possession of the ball, Scott Werner. Let's join our colleague Mike Adamley now as he talks to Scott.
Scotty, on that interception, you fake blitz first, then drop back into coverage. Was that by design or just good fortune that you wound up with the ball?
Well, it's something we ran all last week, and they didn't throw the tight end. This week they did. He ran an option route. He came in first, saw I was playing inside and broke back outside. I lost sight of Brian Syke, and I think he lost sight of me, and they threw it right to me.
Okay, keep it up. And Keith, we'll check on the condition of Gary Barbaro.
Thank you, Mike. Third down and 15 now, just short of midfield for Philadelphia. That's Fitzke in motion. Fusina chased out of the pocket and sacked. Back on the 45 by James Lockett.
Well, they had the 4 big men in there closing the pocket down. They'll put 4 down linemen in the rush in passing situations. Lockett collapsed it on the outside, made a tackle. You see them working now on Gary Barbaro's knee. Now we see the special teams, Philadelphia.
Sean Landetta in to punt. Timmy White is deep. For New Jersey, pretty good kick. White comes up, takes it at the 17. He's very, very quick. Gets a couple of good blocks, looks for the sidelines, and a fine return by Timmy White. Penalty flag is thrown up around the 20, 21-yard line. So New Jersey may be hit here with an illegal block or illegal use of hands.
Well, they threw that flag around the area, number 57, John Miller. But earlier, New Jersey, very lucky. I saw a player from Philadelphia being pushed in the back right in front of Timmy White. The official who's standing behind Timmy White couldn't have seen it, no matter how hard he tried. They got away with that one.
Well, maybe he did.
But they were caught for another one later on.
So that nullifies the return and field position given them by Tim White. Ooh, he's an exciting little guy back there, isn't he?
He's fast, a wide receiver when he gets in regular offense.
Ted Humphrey to define the
illegal block during the return. Receiving team number 57. First down, timeout.
Time remaining in the first quarter of play. 5 minutes, 11 seconds. No score in the football game, as it looks like the 2 defensive teams are going to take control of this football game and dare the offense to be exploitive. New Jersey goes to work from the 11-yard line. High formation for the first time. hole left side, and Herschel is out to the 18. Picked up 7 before Bunting brought him down. Second down and 3. The winner of this one plays the winner of Tampa Bay Birmingham, a game that we've seen here on ABC regionally tomorrow. Walker again over the right side, splits it, and goes for the first down. Just like we told you before the kickoff, look out.
First contact on Herschel Walker was made at about the 27-yard line, or about the 22-yard line. You see it here in the replay. Then he'll take the ball down to the 33. Now watch here. He's hit by Mike Lush. Mike can't hold on. Someone else comes in from behind. Antonio Gibson comes in. He still squirms loose. Grab him by the shoelaces, and he's at the 33.
First down, Generals. Collins in motion. This is Carthen. And Carthen for 3 yards. The condition of Gary Barbaro now with Mike Adamle.
Keith and Len, the word on Gary Barbaro from the general bench. He strained his left knee, the same knee that he had arthroscopic surgery on. He is out for the rest of the first half. He will be taken in at halftime for a further diagnosis, but it looks doubtful right now.
Okay. As we said, considerable loss. Second down, about 7. No score, first quarter. 3:10 to play in the first quarter, and Sipe back to throw it. Goes sideline. Tied in. Jeff Speck. Speck has a first down as he is wrestled out of bounds at the 45-yard line of New Jersey. Check in now with Jim Lampley at control in New York.
Keith, the Los Angeles Express have scored on their first possession against the Michigan Panthers in the sparsely populated L.A. Coliseum. Kevin Nelson going in on a 5-yard touchdown run, which had been set up when the Express went for it on 4th and 1 at the 6 and made it on a Steve Young sneak. It's 7-0 L.A., and let's go back to Keith Jackson.
All day long he had to throw it. And it's finally out of bounds, caught by Walker, but Herschel did not have 2 feet in. And I don't think Brian Sipe will ever have that much time again.
Oh, he had enough to do what he had to do. Number 91, Buddy Moore, was coming in from his left end position, and Buddy actually stopped because Brian was trapped on the other side, trying to get his hands up in the air in case Brian wanted to throw to that side. Brian faked the pass, ran around Buddy Moore, and then Millard came in, gave him a great block to free him up. He got the ball away, although incomplete.
Vince Tobin making some defensive changes. I saw John Bunting come out of the lineup. Second down and 10. Sipe gives the ball to Walker. Walker has Wayne Harris in front of him. And powers across midfield before the Stars roll him back.
Keith, that's just the way they're going to have to play Herschel Walker all day on the outside. He had a block out in front of him with Wayne Harris, number 64, but George Cooper, number 56, played off the block to the outside, kept Herschel inside, where the rest of the pursuit, linebackers Sam Mills, Glenn Howard and company, could come in and make the tackle.
It is third down on a short 4 now for New Jersey as Carthen goes out. Kerry Lee Renko, a tackle has come in, so they're loading up the front with their biggest people. And Sipe gives to Walker. Herschel on a sweep. Does not have the first down. Mike Lush, number 27, went underneath and seemed more than anything else the man who kept him from turning upfield. He sort of turned him upside down, and he didn't get it.
George Jameson, the inside linebacker, held the play up on the outside, forcing Herschel inside. When he did, Lush came in like a submarine, just taking him low. Herschel, I don't think ever saw him.
Nope. It brings up 4th down and 2, and Bob Grupp, averaging just under 39 yards per punt, is in to hit it. Garcia Lane is the return man for Philadelphia, and it's a pretty good kick. It's going to hang up there, but Lane comes up and makes the catch and is immediately decked by Miller, John Miller of New Jersey. A 1:12 to play in the first quarter. They're fussing with the right knee brace of Wayne Harris, the offensive guard for New Jersey. A lot of people are starting to wear those now because that knee injury is such a problem. Such big people playing the game. The ball is on the 14, near the 14 for Philadelphia. And a first down as Messina gives to Bryant. Kelvin Bryant out to about the 18. It was Mike Weddington that brought Garcia Lane down a moment ago, not Miller, and it was a good thing because Garcia Lane had an alley. He would have given Philadelphia a good field position if Weddington had not reached him.
That's correct. Keith, I don't understand. Obviously, Jim Moore and his coaching staff feel that they see a way to run on New Jersey, but they have not had a great deal of success running the ball in the 3 games they played, this being the 3rd.
Well, maybe they don't want a turnover either. Turnovers have haunted them. They give it to Riley. Dave Riley gets across the 20 out near the 22, where Leopold brings him down. And we're winding into the final seconds of the first quarter. We will not have another play. So we have played 15 minutes at Franklin Field in Philadelphia, and we have no score between the New Jersey Generals and the Philadelphia Stars.
Hi, I'm Cliff Stout, quarterback for the Birmingham Stallions. Tomorrow afternoon, my teammates and I will play the Tampa Bay Bandits in a divisional playoff game. We split our regular season games with the Bandits, so not only will tomorrow's game decide this year's series, it will also keep alive the hopes of one of the 2 teams for the championship. So join us tomorrow afternoon live on ABC for the USFL divisional playoff action.
The stats for the first quarter.
Well, big one that you're going to see up there in a second indicates the turnovers. 1 for New Jersey, although they have possessed the ball the most in the first quarter. That first quarter only took 27 minutes to play, and that's very quick. New Jersey possessing the ball, you see 44 yards for New Jersey passing, Philadelphia 0. And coming into the ball game, Philadelphia being a stronger passing team than the New Jersey Generals.
All right, here we go. It is 3rd down for Philadelphia and a short 3. Ball at the 22. Give it to Riley, and I don't know if Riley's not going to make it. He had to get out across the 24 to make the first down, and there was nothing there as New Jersey stunted and filled the hole.
Strongest sign of that Philadelphia line. We've said this before, and it's indicated by the number of times they run behind. That part of the line is the right side, Irv Eatman and Comiskey. And I don't understand, maybe they just felt that New Jersey would gang up on that side, so they chose to run to their left.
Well, they're a yard short of the first down.
Yeah.
So that'll mean Sean Landeta to punt.
Not unless they decide to go for it, and they don't.
Well, not here. Not on this part of the field. Timmy White will drop back now, and White will go back around his 30. If there is any wind, and there isn't much, penalty flags all over the field. Landeta's got to kick into it. He hangs it up well at the 28 for White. White's cut down. Cut down by number 84, Herbert Harris. But let's go back and have a look at the penalty flag. The 48-yard punt by Sean Landeta. But here's your call. It's against the Stars. They had people moving along the front line.
What they were trying to do when they brought their punting team onto the field was, instead of huddling and then coming to the line of scrimmage, lining up in punt formation and getting the ball off as quickly as possible, trying to catch the New Jersey Generals ill-prepared to return the punt.
Well, he pointed against Philadelphia. Bucina's now out on the field.
We'll take a look at it one more time on our replay. Look to see if anyone along the line of scrimmage is moving. I don't see anyone moving.
Illegal formation declared.
Number 20 failed to report. The penalty is declined. First down.
So the New Jersey Generals will accept the football first down at their own 27. Safety Gary Barbaro on his way to the locker room with the doctor to try to figure out if there's any hope that he could come back at a later time in this ball game. Frankly, I would doubt it the way they're helping him. It is New Jersey's football, first down at their own 27, no score. We're just starting the second quarter of play. Mike Lush comes creeping up, shows blitz, and drops out of there. Give the ball to Walker. Walker into the middle. Stopped at the 29. 2 yards on the carry.
George Cooper came in from his outside linebacker position, took on Maurice Coughlin in the backfield, just stopped whatever momentum he had to the outside, forcing Herschel inside, where the entire defensive line and the rest of the linebackers were awaiting the arrival of Herschel Walker.
Second down, about 8. Gets it off. Walker's open. Herschel becoming a very good pass receiver. Steps out of bounds. Up close to the 49. And the Generals have a first down. He caught it and was shoved out by Lush.
Herschel Walker has become a very outstanding receiver. 3 years at Georgia, he only caught 28 passes. Last year, he was a leading pass receiver for the New Jersey Generals. Here, using his speed, he gets to the outside beyond the linebackers. Secondary men were coming up. Herschel Walker let the momentum take him out of bounds.
Yeah, but he wasn't hit. He was hit on the left arm, but did not go down. He is now holding the left arm very still, the left shoulder drooping, and he's left the ball game.
He's had a problem, as we mentioned at the top of the show, he had a problem with those shoulders early in the season. The trainers, the doctors, Herschel, everyone on the team said that they were deep shoulder bruises. I talked to someone who from Athens, Georgia, said that Herschel had a problem with a shoulder separation in college, and again, it has haunted him throughout this entire year.
DeGees comes in to replace him at the running back position, now moves up into the slot on first down and 10 near the 49 of New Jersey. And it's Carthen with the ball. A lot of coverage out here. He'll get a yard out of the carry as he is knocked down by Mike Johnson, number 98. It does not appear that either team's ground game is going to be overly productive today.
Well, coming into it, both defenses ranking number 1 and 2. Philadelphia ranked number 1 against the pass and the rush. New Jersey number 2. And Walt Michaels felt, hey, this may not be an exciting football game that you see here this afternoon. It'll be close. It'll be a defensive battle.
Second down and about 8. Sipe looking for a quick one. Pumps it. Gets pressure. Kugler's after him. Pete misses him. Now Pete's got him. Fumbles the football. And Philadelphia's got it. John Bunting. Kugler chasing Sipe. Finally got a hold of him. Knocked the football loose. And John Bunting came up with it.
Oh. Ryan wanted to get the ball away very quickly. You'll see it on the replay. But his receiver either was not turned around, not open, whatever. He couldn't get away. Pete Kugler just chasing him all over the field. Right there, hits him. Brian Sipe almost got the arm up. Had he been able to get the ball up, it would have been a forward pass. John Bunting, man, so many years with the Philadelphia Eagles, recovers. Second turnover. Let's see what Philadelphia does with it.
I think we're about to get a change in tactics for Philadelphia. Collier, Harris, Fitzke, Donovan, 4 wide receivers now in the game for the first time. Lone remaining back is Kelvin Bryant. The ball is at the New Jersey 49, and Fusina back to throw. Looks for Fitzke, hits him on the number. First down at the 32.
Scott Fitzke out of Penn State. Nothing fancy about the route. zone defense. New Jersey's in it most of the time. You see him just curling in behind the linebackers in front of the safety. He catches the ball. Now he's hit and he goes down, but watch all the bodies that are flying around him. They're trying to make it a very physical football game out there. Siski will be tough. He'll hang on to the passes in traffic. There's a player down on the field right now.
Kerry Justin, left cornerback.
Last week in this ball game when the two teams met, take a look at Walt Michaels on the sideline. It seemed to be that the Philadelphia Stars had all the players who were injured. David Riley was injured, who's now playing in the ball game. Pete Kugler suffered a bit of a hamstring pull. Brad Oates had to come out for a while. He's had some problems with his knees. Now in the ball game, the New Jersey Generals this week are having injuries on both offense and defense.
Kerry Justin, a 6-year veteran with the Seattle Seahawks out of Oregon State, is getting up now. Terry Daniels has come in to replace him at that cornerback spot. It looks like he, too, has some kind of an ankle or knee problem. The lineup for the USFL tomorrow, the Tampa Bay Bandits will be playing in Birmingham, eastern part of the country. We'll see that on ABC. And the Arizona Wranglers will be at Houston in the Western Conference, playing in the Astrodome. That's the best defensive bunch against the best offensive bunch. Lynn Swan's going down to that ball game, and that should, both of them should just be crackerjack football games.
Well, a lot of teams right now are afraid of Arizona because they know how good they are. They know they're better than their record indicates.
It is first down now. Philadelphia Stars with their first threat of the ball game, sitting on the New Jersey 32. Let's see if he picks on Daniels early. He's got Riley back in at fullback. Little play action, and a lob pass downfield is caught. David Riley out of the backfield, and they picked on him.
They got that ball away just in time, Keith. Number 56, Willie Harper, the left outside linebacker, is coming in, barreling in on Chuck Bucina. Chuck Bucina took his time. You'll see Fitzke going in motion here. That's David Riley, number 35, sneaking around the outside. That's Willie Harper coming in. Bucina gets the ball off right over the head of John Preston. David Riley makes a very good catch, knowing he had Terry Daniels coming at him.
And it's first down, Philadelphia at the New Jersey 10. First and goal to go. Goes to Bryant. Convoy in front. Touchdown!
The kind of football the Philadelphia Stars fans came to see. Riley, lead block. He touchdown Leclerc. Kelvin Bryant, he's got Kaminsky and Eatman out in front. Folks, it's just a plain old everyday convoy into the end zone.
And the Stars get on top 6-0 with Trout in for the extra point try. Goodson. 11 minutes and 59 seconds to play in the first half. Philadelphia jumps on top 7-0. David Trout to kick it off. The deep people are Marcus Hackett, 84, and Rod Pegues, 30. And the Philadelphia Stars have been able to achieve what they really wanted to do. That is, get the lead. They got it as a result of a turnover. On the tackle against Brian Sipe, the ball came loose. Bunning recovered it, and they stuck it in the end zone. Trout hangs it way back. About 5 yards deep in the end zone. Hackett comes out. It was a mistake. They bring him down on the 12. Victor Harrison, one of the fastest men on the team.
Hackett made a poor decision in deciding to return that ball. It was a great kick by David Trout in as much as it was in the end zone 5 yards deep, but it hung in the air for such a long time, it gave the kickoff coverage team a chance to get down the field. By the time Hackett brought the ball out, he had no protection in front of him.
Herschel Walker is back in the lineup. They've massaged the arm and or shoulder, whatever it was. He's back in there at a setback spot in the I formation. From the 12, first down. Sipe looking to throw, goes outside to Bowers and overthrows the big Fordham Ram. Mike Adamle now with Kelvin Bryant.
Kelvin, that touchdown run, just like you draw it up in the playbooks, textbook.
Yeah, we had some good blocking on it. And, I know that they're going to play us again tough. They beat us twice, and, we're ready for the challenge today.
Well, they're playing the right side pretty tough, but with Irv and Chuck, not too, it's a little hard to stop.
Yeah, if Irv and Chuck get the job done, we can run the ball on anybody.
Give a little credit to your running mate, David Riley, set it up with a big pass play.
Yeah, David, he's been playing good all year, and, I'm just glad he's playing good today.
Okay, Keith.
Second down and 10, New Jersey. Walker. 14, got 2 yards. One of the things about Kelvin Bryant's touchdown run, Lynn Swan, don't forget the man, because he made as nifty a little shift and cut as you'll ever want to see to get it in the end zone.
He did a great job. We always talk about Kelvin Bryant as being a very instinctive runner. His eyes were wide open on that play. He followed his blocking, made a nice little cut after, I think it was Ken Dunnick, a tight end, who made a good block downfield, cutting just to the inside to score the touchdown.
It's third down and 8 now for New Jersey. Gibson showing blitz. Lush is also up there. Now he drops out. Tries to throw it. Under pressure, gets it away. Pegues drops it. No, Danny Knight drops it. 80, not 30. He hit Knight right on the hands with it, but there's a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage. It's holding against the New Jersey Generals.
Well, Walt Michael's not happy with that, but of course Philadelphia will turn down the penalty, force the punt, and they should have excellent field position as they've had with the turnovers. Brian Sipe dropped back to pass. Denny Knight, expected to be a big receiver for this ball club, suffered injuries throughout the season. Really should have held on this one in his hands, and he just flat out drops it. Did not hang on to it as he tried to bring it into his body. Goes incomplete, fourth down.
Now let's see if Grupp can deliver a big one. They need one here. Garcia Lane standing back on his own 45 for Philadelphia. 10:52 to go in the first half, and the Stars lead 7-0. Grupp gets it out. It's a beauty. He hit a dandy. Garcia Lane all the way back to the 30. But here he comes. He has a hole. One man to beat. Touchdown.
No penalty flags and the touchdown. A ball club that could not get a break in their 2 regular season meetings now has had the break with 2 big turnovers. And now Garcia Lane, number 47, the rookie, comes in with a real big kick-up punt return. And watch the blocking he gets. It's a long kick, but that helps sets up some of the blocking. Out in front, he finds an alley. Now he picks his way. Here, it's just pure speed. Number 84 is Harris out in front of him. Look at the block on Grupp there. Now it's all speed. Pass, Gregory Johnson in for the touchdown.
Davy Trout for the extra point. It is good. 10 minutes and 35 seconds to play in the first half. 55-yard punt, 70-yard return for the touchdown, and the first punt return touchdown in Stars history. Walt Michaels, who surely has admonished his generals, let's not let this thing get out of hand. Get that football and take the air out of it and stick it in the end zone. Let's get a score before the halftime. 10:35 to play in the first half, and the Stars are smoking right now, leading 14-0. Again, Trout hits it a ton, way back, 6-7 yards deep in the end zone. Hackett will put it down. Garcia Lane, happiest man in town. All right, Mike?
Keith, you see this happen so many times in pro football. Bob Grupp gets off a great punt, but he actually outkicks the coverage, and it paid off for you, Garcia Lane. I don't know that you had that kind of juice in you.
Yes, well, what we ran was a right return, and we didn't show it last week. But the only bad part about it is you got to have a good kick. And as it was in the air, I said, that's the perfect kick. And the wall was there, and I just ran right down.
When did you know that you were going to go for the 6? At what point in that punt return?
When I seen the kicker, just one-on-one with a blocker, I knew I would score.
And you poured on the afterburners.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, congratulations. You're part of Philadelphia Star history. First one for a touchdown.
Thank you, and I'd like to say hi to my little boy, Troy. All right.
Get back on D.
Okay.
Big one for the Buckeye. Garcia Lane as New Jersey comes to the attack, and Herschel Walker jams in there for about 3 yards. Second down and 7 coming up. I won't be surprised if New Jersey can run that football. They just sit there and grind it now.
Well, they've got 10 minutes to play here in the second quarter, and they've got all of the second half. If their defense plays well in holding Philadelphia, which it has, except for the one drive, half the field, they've got enough time to play their style of football and come out on top.
Carton this time down at the 26. George Cooper out of Michigan State brought him down. Now Kugler, Werner, Fuller, Lane will go into the lineup. Others will come out. Dave Ofer coming out at the nose tackle with Kugler going in. It'll be third down and 4. And having William Fuller, number 95, 6'3", 250, out of North Carolina, available to them. A very quick, big man. Put a lot of pressure in pass circumstances. Obviously, Philadelphia's offside. Brian Sipe has a free one, but he has nobody to throw to, and they throw him down, sack him way back around the 12, but I don't think that'll go down as a sack. I believe the Scars had jumped in too soon, trying to anticipate.
5-yard penalty will give them the first down as it's 3rd and 4. Referee indicating it is against Philadelphia. That's the first time. Is that Philadelphia's first penalty of the day?
No, second.
Second penalty of the day. Of course, last week.
Offside. Defense, number 67. First down.
When we showed you our mistake piece at the top of the show, we pointed out how a 4th down penalty allowed New Jersey to come back and score. 4th down penalty against Philadelphia.
Gives him the first down, and Sipe goes for a big one. Collins out of bounds, incomplete. Clarence had a half a step.
He had a half a step, but Brian Sipe really had to hang that one in the air a long time to get it to him.
This wind is not much, but you always get a little swirling action in Franklin Field. The reason they're playing at Franklin Field, and I guess I didn't tell you why, is because the Philadelphia Phillies are in the middle of a homestand. And obviously the Phillies are sitting on top of the National League East, and it's just one of those circumstances where the Veterans Stadium was being occupied by a previous tenant of long standing. Second down and 10. Sipe quickly, incomplete. Intended for Sam Bauer.
Sipe is now 1 for 6, Keith.
Wayne Harris is hurt.
In his last 6 attempts. He's rolling down on the field.
He is the right guard and a powerful member of the offensive front for the New Jersey Generals. So they're talking to Harris now. He was rolling back and forth as if he was in considerable pain, and timeout has been taken for him with the Stars leading 14-0. They're still working on Wayne Harris, the right guard for the New Jersey Generals, and I can't tell if it's a leg or just exactly what the problem is. But they're going to help him off the field now. And Kerry Lirenko will probably come in and replace him at that guard position. ABC's Monday Night Baseball coverage at 8 Eastern Time next Monday. We'll have a couple of games for you. Check your local listings. You'll have the Detroit and Chicago White Sox playing in the American League, and the Chicago Cubs will be out on the coast against the San Diego Padres. The Padres leading in the National League West, and of course Detroit sitting on a big cushion in the American League East. Well, they've lost Gary Barbaro already, and it looks like they may have to go the rest of the day without Wayne Harris. It's two prominent members of your starting units on each side of the ball having been taken out by injury. It's 14-0 Philadelphia. New Jersey, third down and 10 at their own 31. 8:55 to play in the first half. Sipes pass, thrown to Walker. Herschel's got it, cuts it back inside, gets a first down, and crosses midfield to the Philadelphia 49. Now, he picked up 13 yards after the catch.
Well, all Herschel Walker needs is a little opening with no contact, and he turns on the jets. And he has got that tremendous speed. And watch you on the outside. Good move on Cooper right there. He sees an alley. He starts to take off. Garcia Lane just grabs him by the shoelaces to slow him up before Scott Warner, number 25, can come over and make the stop, along with, again, 56, George Cooper.
Sipe gives the ball to Walker for a run. He takes it up the middle and was within one leg in the grasp of Glenn Howard, breaking another big one. He's caught 2 passes now for 21 and 20 yards. And when you get him out, you get him out there one-on-one, it's just terrifying.
Now, with the memory of Herschel Walker running with authority those last 2 plays, let's keep in mind that these are the playoffs. Ball players who are injured will play in this ball game as if they are free of injury because there's no returning. You lose, you're gone.
2nd down and 4. Walker again, sweep left side, going outside with it. Too many red shirts. There's nothing there. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage. There are times, I guess, when you do go ahead and go on down, but there's no way Walker's going to beat 5 defensive linemen and linebackers on that particular instance.
Well, if 5 people get to Herschel all at the same time, he usually doesn't come out with much in terms of yardage. We've seen him run through 5 different people. Once he gets his steam up, he moulders downfield.
Not in a bunch, though.
Not in a bunch, you're right. Hard for him to cut back, too, with such tremendous pursuit all the time.
3rd down and 4 still. Mills is up in the middle there. And Sipe looking over the defense. Checked off once. Looked like he wanted to check off twice, but saw only 2 seconds remaining on the 30-second clock. Called timeout and stepped away.
Vince Tobin had his defensive team shifting around up there, and a formation that Sipe didn't like. Didn't have the right play call for it, and takes that timeout instead of losing 5 yards on the play. It's 3rd down and 4 right now.
Well, he could tell real quick that he was overmatched in the trenches because when Mills and Lush both stepped in there, it was a mismatch.
Yeah, well, that's what experience teaches you, Keith. And you can't, you really can't understand how important, that kind of experience is when you come down to the playoffs. Someone who is cool and calm and doesn't get flustered, even though this is the most important game, you need that.
Time charge to New Jersey coming up tomorrow here on ABC at 12:30 Eastern Time. We'll have the United States Olympic basketball team against a team of NBA stars. Some of the NBA people who will be playing against the Olympians include Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, Mark McGuire, Kevin McHale. I was up in Providence the other night and watched the Olympians play a team of NBA people. They trounced them. It's a very good-looking U.S. Olympic basketball team, and we'll show them to you tomorrow at 12:30 here on ABC. 3rd and 4, and Sipe now to throw it. Getting pressure. Gets it away, and it is incomplete. And a penalty flag back around the 45 of New Jersey. We could have a roughing the quarterback call. We had a little scuffling going on back in that neighborhood. That's what it is against the Stars.
Philadelphia's secondary and linebacking core were doing an excellent job of containing receivers, keeping them covered. Brian Sipe was scrambling under a great deal of pressure from Pete Kugler and Don Fielder.
Buddy Moore, 91.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 96. First down.
Don Fielder. Man, they call it on it. Gets a little frustrating when the big man is chasing a little small pass around in that secondary. He keeps getting away. They keep getting cut by linemen. They finally get to him, and he is the only scratch of human flesh that they can take it out on every time.
Big penalty there. It moves the football down to the 28 of Philadelphia. First down, New Jersey. 14-0 Stars lead. Side play action, rollout. Throws it away. He was looking at Walker, and I frankly don't know why he didn't go to Herschel, because he had Sam Mills trying to cover Walker over there, and there's no way Sam's going to cover him.
Well, you're right about that in the secondary, but in his immediate presence, the only person he could see was George Cooper, number 56, who was barreling in on him. and he was about to go down, and he threw it away just to be rid of the football, and Cooper ran into him a little bit, but had his arms spread out, so he wouldn't get flagged for roughing the passer. L.A. takes a 10-0 lead.
Second down and 10, New Jersey. Six-man front up there. Antonio Gibson covering the tight end. Throws it for Bowers and bounces the ball in front of him. Now Gibson made a mistake there because he was covering Sam Bowers when the ball was snapped, and Bowers started his break. Then Tony gave up and had gone back toward the ball, leaving Bowers, and if Sipe had been able to get it to him, he would look. Watch now, Gibson will give up on him.
Right, he's got the angle right there, but he's starting to fade back on Gibson. Gibson was fading back. Someone said he may have tripped. I don't know. He faded back. Sam Bowers couldn't get to it. Brian Sipe didn't have anything on it.
Right. It is third down and 10. Sipe throws for Carthen, and Carthen is caught by Antonio Gibson and brought down after about a 3-yard pickup near the 25. And that'll bring Roger Ruzek into the lineup with his kicking team.
Keith, that's a little bit of a pick they try and run on that play. They had Speck, the tight end, split out just a bit, and Collins went inside him, trying to pick the linebacker and coverage off, getting open over the middle. He was covered because the middle linebacker stayed at home. Got the ball to the secondary receiver, and Maurice caught it.
It will be a 42-yard field goal try with Grupp holding, Ruzek kicking. Last week he kicked 3 field goals against Philadelphia. 42 yards. Pulled it left. Hooked it out. No good. 5 minutes and 37 seconds to play in the first half in this divisional playoff game in the Atlantic Division. 14-0 Philadelphia.
The game's best. The Detroit Tigers scrap it out with the White Sox. Or slugging Ryan Sandberg and the Cubs take on the front-running Padres on ABC's Monday Night Baseball.
Ruzek missing the 42-yard field goal. The line of scrimmage was the 25. That's where Philadelphia gets the ball first down. Bryant and Riley split behind Fusina. Collier has not seen the ball yet today. Bryant on a sweep. Well, look out! Mike Williams slows him down, and they finally run him down, Leopold and Williams, at the New Jersey 37-yard line.
Well, I want to tell you about some breaks. Watch number 63, Gilbert, as he pulling guard and get out on this play. He gets blocked. He trips up and falls down, but they don't even need him. Kelvin Bryant just gets outside the pursuit. He gets the angle, and it's down the sideline. He makes a power move there, trying to run through number 29, Mike Williams. Just can't do it, but he's inside the 40-yard line.
They've got 4 wide receivers, but this sends Bryant up the middle. And he goes for about 3 yards as he crosses the 35. New Jersey has run 33 plays in this football game in the first half. Philadelphia just ran its 14th with 4:25 to play in the first half. Philadelphia's leading, however, 14-0, which will give you some idea of how quickly they scored. And, of course, that second touchdown was a 70-yard punt return.
Well, if you take the scoring drive and the punt return and call it a play, that was 4 plays for 14 points.
Right. Brian Thomas replaces Kelvin Bryant. He comes out for a breather. And ball goes to Thomas, and he's caught behind the line of scrimmage by a blitzing Jim LeClaire, the inside linebacker.
Along with him, number 53, Bob Leopold, coming up from the outside. Just looked like Brian Thomas tried to run the same play to the left that Kelvin Bryant ran for the big game to the right. LeClaire, the veteran out of Cincinnati, 11 years there with the Bengals. blitzing on that play, or probably just read the running play, as New Jersey doesn't have a strong blitz tendency. Got in the backfield very quickly.
It'll be 3rd down and 12. Ball is near the 38 now after the loss on the play. And you've got a shotgun formation. You've seen us 3 out of 3 for 43 yards in the ball game. Now they send Fitzke in motion. You see the alignment. They had what approximated shotgun, and it was Fitzke in the shotgun position to receive the ball, whereas Fusina had come up
number 14
and taken the normal quarterback position. But when Fitzke went in motion, New Jersey didn't bite, and by that time had run out, and they get dinged 5 yards for delay in the ball game.
Well, the officials try and get the ball set and the clock started as soon as possible from the time the last play ends. When you run a play with a lot of motion going back and forth, you've got to get the play called out of the huddle quickly to give yourself time.
Standard formation now, split backs with Fusina down under center. And back to throw.
Get it done!
Pressure. Preston hits him. The pass is away. Donovan's got it, and he's got a first down. Oh! John Preston hit Chuck Fusina just a fraction too late.
Big blitz by New Jersey. It was John Preston who caused the fumble of Harris, number 84, last week. Here, Chuck just gets it off as he's decked. Donovan, number 87, the man who turns the flips in the end zone, makes a real good catch.
And Philadelphia sitting down inside the 26-yard line of New Jersey with a first down, and 2:40 showing to play in the first half. Kelvin Bryan and David Riley now are back as a tandem in the I formation. No. 24. Couple of yards.
That's a very deceptive play, Keith. They give that ball to Kelvin Bryant, who is running right towards the center of the line, but the blocking for the hole is on the outside, over the right tackle. And then when he gets that line of scrimmage, he just angles to the outside. There's a low wall set up. He looks for an alley to try and run downfield north and south.
First down call by Philadelphia. Fusina comes to the sidelines to talk. Philadelphia offense, 61 yards in the air, 63 yards on the ground. And it's not a Philadelphia timeout, I'm sorry. It's 2 minutes. 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play in the first half, with the Philadelphia Stars leading comfortably right now by 14-0.
Now that the USFL championship game is approaching, the New Jersey Generals are taking command. Football fans are starving for a win around the Big Apple. And we plan on chewing up whoever gets in our way.
John, it says here that the Bandits, not the Generals, are the hottest team in the league.
And I think we're going to stay that way right through the championship game here in sunny Tampa Bay. Right, E.T.?
Right.
Call for tickets now.
Jim Lampley in New York. The Michigan Panthers have been dominated early by the Los Angeles Express in the Coliseum, but now after a fumble recovery and this 3-yard touchdown run by Cleo Miller, they have sliced the Express lead to 10-7. Since then, a young interception. The Panthers are in good shape again with the ball in good field position. Back to Keith Jackson in Philly.
Riley.
All right, Jimmy, thank you very much. And here, Wayne Harris has just been put aboard an ambulance and is leaving the stadium. So the veteran New Jersey guard apparently is gone. Not today, maybe even defeated. Too bad. Chuck Fusina, 2nd down and 8. Looking for a receiver. Running for his life now. Gets around the corner and slides down at the 16. He's close to a first down. He was sliding for the marker.
Well, Chuck Fusina learning quickly. If you have to run, go ahead and do it. To get to where you have to go out of bounds or hit the dirt quickly. Get a little help. Kelvin Bryant was peeling back. He's a tough kid. Remember last year, he's playing against the Chicago Blitz in the playoff game, and he took on a couple of people to get a touchdown.
He did. Brian Thomas is back in now for the Philadelphia Stars at a setback position. The back lined up toward the bottom of the picture there, number 30. First down at the 15. You've seen it, a throw. Goes for Fitzke, and Scott's dragged down after about a 4-yard pickup by Terry Daniels.
Scott Fitzke wanted to turn that one up real quick. Terry Daniels was right there. to make the play. Prior to that pass, Philadelphia was averaging 15.2 yards per pass play. That one will bring it down a bit, but it goes after completion. Just fakes going inside. Gets to the
right there, didn't he?
Yeah.
A little late getting there.
Just a bit. He didn't have a lot of room to throw that. It's a long pass for a 4-yard gain.
You got Donovan coming in now at a wide spot. You also have Riley and Bryant back in. So in effect, Cucina's got 5 people to throw the ball to. All pretty good catchers. Lofted in the corner of the end zone for Kelvin Bryant. Great catch. Touchdown.
When did Willie Mays start wearing number 44?
Mike Williams was waiting for the interception. And Bryant just simply went up above him and took it in over the shoulder.
We'll take a look on the replay to see who it was that was covering underneath.
Williams.
Kevin Bryant, I think, has a linebacker who will be underneath. Cucina just lofted it in the air, and Bryant goes up with his arms outstretched. Then at the elbow, midsection, looked like Willie Mays in the air, and just cut it off before it got to Williams.
Mike Williams just had to die right there because he almost had the ball in his hands, and Kelvin just picked his pocket. David Trout's extra point is good. With exactly a minute to go in the first half, the Philadelphia Stars, who are rolling right now, 21-0.
Yeah, that brings up a subject that Scott Fitzke and I were talking about on the sidelines yesterday during practice. Talking about the ball players that make the great effort when you need it in championship games. We've seen it all throughout history. We saw Rocky Bleier make a great catch in the Super Bowl we never thought he could make. We saw Dwight Clark in the San Francisco 49ers make a great catch when they beat the Cowboys. Now, Kelvin Bryant has been a steady receiver, but you've never seen Kelvin Bryant go up between 2 people like that, time it just so, cut the ball off for a touchdown. Again, a man with a great deal of pride. He knows the importance of this game. It's one of 3 they have to win to be champions, and they're going to make every effort. You're going to see some great plays throughout the playoff series.
Besides that, he wants to replace that $1,000 he got fined last week for being late. Knowing Kelvin, that hurt him worse than anything.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's just a country boy back in North Carolina.
Take $1,000 out of your pocket, boy, that hurts.
No matter if you have 6 figures or 5 in your contract, if you're not used to having a lot, $1,000 is $1,000.
Well, he's like a lot of us. He grew up with a bird in hand. None of that stuff in the bush. Here's the kickoff by David Trout. High and hanging to Hackett. 2 yards deep in the end zone. Marcus is coming. And he comes to about the 16. So the New Jersey Generals will go to work at the 16-yard line, trailing 21-0. Tomorrow it'll be the Tampa Bay Bandits at Legion Field in Birmingham against the Stallions, and the Arizona Wranglers will be at the Astrodome in Houston against the Gamblers. Both games in your respective areas at 2:30 Eastern Time. Remember that Tampa Bay and Birmingham played a dandy last week, 17-16, Tampa Bay winning. Houston beat Arizona in their previous meeting this season. But tomorrow is another season. Ryan Sipe quickly over the middle. Jeff Speck tight end, dropped at the 24, short of his first down. Time remaining first half, 45 seconds.
We've told you the New Jersey Generals are a team that's suspect in their ability to score quickly.
Sipe back again. Walker, first down. They hit him up at the 30. A couple of linebackers, Cooper and Mills, busted him, but he was at the 30 when he caught the ball. That stops the clock with the movement of the chains on the first down and 32 seconds to go in the first half. First quarter was scoreless, but the Stars have struck in the second period. Sipe looks for Collins and loops it out here. It is complete to Carthen. Short gain on the play of a couple of yards to about the 32, and timeout called by New Jersey. That stops the clock. 21 ticks remaining in the first half. They've got 1 timeout left.
Nothing fancy about what's happening right now in the ball game. Secondary for Philadelphia is in the zone. They're playing deep. They're not going to give up the home run pass to Walt Michaels' offense. Brian Sipe looks downfield quickly, trying to get the read. Seeing that the coverage is deep, throws to the man short. Knows he has to get the ball off in a hurry. Does not want to waste a lot of time dropping back and reading that secondary. He knows what they're going to be in. Herschel Walker, however, has the speed and the ability, if he gets a short pass, should he find a lane. Can he get turned around on that linebacker, can go the distance very quickly for the touchdown.
Program and exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Here's 5 seconds to allow our local stations to tell you who they are.
WPBI TV, Channel 6, Philadelphia.
21 seconds to play in the first half as New Jersey will come up to the football, having lost Gary Barbaro, the safety, and having lost Wayne Harris, offensive guard, and also Kerry Justin, who twisted an ankle and is not in there right now. Not available right now. Sipe goes big down the middle. Bowers and Sam can't come down with it. Antonio Gibson covering him on the play.
Well, Mike Lush had a chance to take that one all the way into the end zone. You see him? See right there, Bowers going down the middle. Antonio Gibson. Lush steps in right there to knock it away. He had 7 interceptions for 97 yards on the year. That one would have been 8th, but a big one in the playoffs.
16 seconds remaining in the first half. 3rd down and 8. Ryan Sipe getting protection, gets it off. He's got Speck wide open, and Jeff makes a leaping grab and slides out of bounds, killing the clock near the Philadelphia 46. You've got 8 seconds to play. They got 1 timeout left. One more play down around the 25 or even the 30, and Ruzek might have a shot at one. So there's a tricky little wind whirling around in Old Franklin Field.
Well, it would take, Keith, all 8 seconds on that clock if they tried to put it into the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
At this stage of the game.
You got to be thinking field goal now.
So I think that they would have to think field goal. The officials know to stop that clock. Brian Sipe should have already talked to the referee.
His pass is away for Collins, and it's incomplete, and here's a roughing the passer call against Philadelphia. Number 91, Buddy Moore, I think, is going to get dinged with it. He is. It's 15 yards. You've got 4 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, in terms of yardage, Keith, that's 2 big penalties against Philadelphia for rushing the passer. But it still doesn't have the damage that one offsides when they were trying to punt the ball last week caused.
With 4 seconds now, it's academic as to what New Jersey will try to do. They'll try a field goal. Ruzek is going to have to hit it into that whirling wind, a wind that seems to kind of kill it in that direction. It'll be a 49-yard field goal try.
Timeout, Philadelphia. Their first timeout.
So the Stars call timeout as Sam Mills, who is the defensive leader of this bunch, comes over to talk to Jim Mora and says, what do we do? Send 10 or 12 or let us have a couple extra guys and we'll get it.
Well, I think you go for the all-out rush with 4 seconds on the clock and then choosing to kick. I think Sam just wanted to give himself a little bit more rest, give his team a little bit more rest.
And Ruzek time to think about it, huh?
That's right. Let the pressure mount.
Sam goes back now to his defensive huddle. 4 out of 8 from over the 40-yard line, 40 and 49 for Ruzek, but he's 2 out of 2 from 50 plus, and this one will be a 49-yard try.
One of the mascots for the Philadelphia Stars in the window. Come on now, that's dry.
Yeah, it hasn't rained a drop, has it?
No.
Sure did rain this morning, though.
Yeah, maybe the ghost of Red Grange is hovering above, saying, give the young guys a break.
No, he wasn't a member of the Quakers. He was an opponent.
Oh, that's okay. He played here.
All right, we're ready. From 49 yards, trying to get the Generals on the scoreboard in the closing seconds of the first half. Looks like enough leg. It's wide right. So Ruzek is missed from 42 and 49 yards. And at the end of the first half of play, the Philadelphia Stars 21, New Jersey Generals nothing. Back with halftime activities after this commercial and a word from our local station. it would appear the law of averages is taking over today. New Jersey defeated Philadelphia twice during the regular season, the only team to beat them. But in the first half, it is Philadelphia 21, New Jersey nothing. And here's the way the points were scored. The first one, a 10-yard run by Kelvin Bryant.
And he goes to the right side behind Chuck Comiskey, Irv Eatman, and Ken Dunnick, tight end, replacing the injured Steve Folsom. A good block by David Riley, and as I said earlier, a plain old convoy. Kelvin Bryant doing a great job of reading it on the short run.
The second touchdown came on the first ever Philadelphia punt return for a touchdown. Garcia Lane, 70 yards.
And Garcia Lane said it. Bob Grupp, a great punt, but he out-punts the coverage, gives the wall time to set up. A key block right there that springs him. He gets an alley. Now he just gets to the sideline where he's supposed to be and takes off. He knows he has a block out in front. The people chasing from behind. But Lane, a gutty young player, has not very caught many this year, is into the end zone.
The third touchdown again involved Kelvin Bryant and a rather remarkable catch as he takes it high in the air over his shoulder to make it 21-0.
Pride, Keith. We talked about it earlier, a man who had to sit out the first half of last week's ball game because he wasn't showing up on time. Came into this ball game ready to play the best game he could. Probably spent a quiet night thinking about it. Comes up with a great catch.
And so that's where we are. At halftime, we'll have more for you in just a moment. Here in Philadelphia, the Stars 21 and the Generals nothing.
The United States Football League is an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Today's divisional playoff game between the New Jersey Generals and the Philadelphia Stars is being sponsored by Dodge, official cars and trucks of the USFL, and by Bud Light. The best has a taste all its own, satisfying but never filling. So ask for Bud Light.
Jim Lampley again in New York. We welcome those of you who have watched the very precise half of football that the Philadelphia Stars have just played against the Generals. Now we'll bring you up to date on what is happening in the Western Conference playoff game between the Michigan Panthers and the Los Angeles Express. Early on, the Panthers were struggling. It looked as though the Express would be on their way to a possible big lead in the first half. Kevin Nelson scored the first touchdown of the game on a 5-yard run, and this made it 7-0 Los Angeles on the Express's first possession. Steve Young was playing well, and the Panthers fell down 10-0 on a Zendejas field goal before Michigan started to come back. Cleo Miller, one of two veteran Millers, the other is Terry, who have started to add some spark to the Michigan offense today, scored on that 2-yard run to make it 10-7 LA. And then after an interception of a Young pass, Bobby Hebert completed that one to Ken Lacey down the middle for 22 yards and the touchdown. That has given the Panthers what now amounts to a 14-10 halftime lead. Young in the game, 9 of 20 for 125 yards, but the 2 interceptions are the most important passes he's thrown. Hebert has not thrown well, but he got lucky with that pass down the middle to Lacey, and now perhaps will play more confidence as the Panthers go into the second half with the lead over the Los Angeles Express. So that's what's happening in the West. We'll be taking it back to the East eventually, and we'll have more USFL halftime coverage immediately after this.
We're at halftime in Philadelphia, where the Stars are leading the New Jersey Generals by a score of 21-0 at halftime. A rematch for the third time this season of Atlantic Division opponents, and here are your first half stats.
Well, initially it looked like the New Jersey was going to run away with the stats as they controlled it in the first quarter. Second quarter, Philadelphia evened it up. Time of possession, they're still way behind because they scored so very, very quickly. The punt return, between the first touchdown by Kelvin Bryant and the punt return, only a minute and 24 of time elapsed. You can see for Philadelphia, very even. 73 yards in the rush, 71 in the pass. New Jersey keeping the ball in the air quite a bit, 127 yards in passing. But Chuck Fusina, on the day so far, is 6 for 6 for 76 yards and 1 touchdown. Handing the ball off to Kelvin Bryant 7 times, who's gained 49 yards, 1 reception for 11 yards. David Riley has done a great job. A big play on the sideline, and 1 of 3 plays that went on the scoring drive ended up in the 10-yard run by Kelvin Bryant.
But the star of this game so far for Philadelphia is Kelvin Bryant. We'll be back with the third quarter after this message and a word from your local stations. Atlantic Division playoff. Philadelphia 21, New Jersey nothing. The winner will meet the winner of the Tampa Bay Birmingham game tomorrow. For a look at tomorrow's games, let's join Jim Lempley.
There is, of course, a full half of playoff football action left today in our United States Football League telecast, but while we have a moment at halftime, we wanted to remind you of exactly what you'll be seeing in the way of USFL playoff action tomorrow here on ABC Sports. Many of you will see the Eastern Conference game between two teams which won 14 apiece during the regular season, the Tampa Bay Bandits and the Birmingham Stallions. They played twice against each other during the regular season. The first of the two games took place on March 26 in Tampa, and this was the more significant of the two games since last week's game was the season ender. John Reeves was benched to start the game by Coach Steve Spurrier, and rookie Wayne Peace started ahead of him, but Peace had great difficulty against the Birmingham defense, which was playing so well. This early sack for a safety by Jackie Klein set the tone of a game that was dominated by Birmingham all the way. Cliff Stout had no passing problems in what had sometimes been an erratic Birmingham offense. This pass to Joey Jones, a mark of how successful he was as the Stallions won easily 27-9. Tampa got it together later in the year with a 7-game winning streak, but their passing attack was crippled a few weeks ago with the loss of wide receiver Eric Trevelyan to injury. But head coach Steve Spurrier says even without his most dangerous receiver, he's not worried about his passing attack.
We miss E.T. because he's a very excellent receiver, very good against bump and run. But Wilfred Morgan and Spencer Jackson are two fine receivers, and they're just now getting a chance to play. They had an excellent game last week against Birmingham. We got all the confidence they'll do a fine, super job.
Jackson came through with that touchdown catch on the final weekend to help Tampa beat Birmingham and even the season series at 1 game apiece. But the Stallions have league-leading rusher Joe Cribbs back to full speed after his brief holdout, and Birmingham will also have a rested Cliff Stout for tomorrow's playoff rubber game. Tomorrow's other game in the Western Conference matches the league's leading defense, the Arizona Wranglers, against, of course, the most talked about offense in football right now, the Houston Gamblers with quarterback Jim Kelly. Earlier this year, in a high-scoring affair, Houston won the only meeting between the two teams, and now Wrangler coach George Allen says that just as any other coach would be, he's worried about having to stop the high-scoring Houston offense.
Well, the way to beat Houston, the teams that have beaten Houston have kept their offense off the field. Their offense is potent, so you can't give their offense 65 plays. It's like bringing up Dave Winfield 7 times to the plate. See, it's the same thing. He's going to hit a couple, you know.
Given that analogy, here's the primary Dave Winfield of the Gamblers offense, quarterback Jim Kelly. When these two teams met in the Dome earlier this year, Kelly bombed away against Arizona. This long pass to Richard Johnson, one of 2 wide receivers with more than 100 catches this year. The other one, wideout Ricky Sanders, was also on the receiving end of a Kelly bomb in that game. Arizona will counter with a pair of 1,000-yard rushers led by Tim Spencer, who had a terrific year and scored on this 25-yard run when the two teams met. But in that game, Houston put away an easy victory. This blocked field goal by Pete Katan running for a touchdown as the Gamblers won it 37-24. Now they will try to duplicate defeat once again in the Astrodome in tomorrow's United States Football League playoff game.
And we're ready for the kickoff in Philadelphia with the Stars out on top 21-0. And Mark McCants is the beat man for Philadelphia. And Roger Ruzek will kick off. We've been very fortunate. Had heavy rain this morning, but none this afternoon. Ruzek's kick is a high hanger. That is taken by McCants at the 4. Up the middle. And out to the 34. Boy, he was a half a step from getting loose.
Well, the special teams, the punt return team, and the kickoff return team exerting their influence in this ball game in dramatic fashions thus far. 1 punt return for a touchdown. That opening kickoff for the second half takes them down to the 39-yard line. Excellent field position. Excuse me, 34-yard line.
It was a scoreless first quarter. But then Philadelphia, boom, boom, boom. 3 touchdowns to lead it. Now let's see if old Mo's still wearing a red shirt. Riley and Bryant set behind Fusina. And Chuck will throw on first down. Goes down the sidelines for Dunnick, the tight end, and Kenny is out of bounds. Incomplete. He hung it up too long. He had the mismatch that he wanted. He had Dunnick at 6'6", 245 against 6-foot John Preston.
Keith, this is not necessarily a defense of Chuck Fusina or Brian Sipe for throwing bad passes along the sideline, but with the field being crowned as it is, it changes.
It is really crowned.
Yeah, very much. It changes the angle at which that ball comes down.
Good point.
When it comes down and away from you as you look at that crown. Yep. If this field were flat, he would not have thrown the same pass.
Very good point. They've been playing on flat field. This is David Riley and a penalty flag. Might be on number 50.
That or number 63, George Gilbert. Number 50, the center, Bart Oates, was on the ground tangled up with somebody.
Jim LeClaire.
Maybe he was trying to see what was under Jim LeClaire's socks.
It is against Philadelphia, and it is going to be a holding. Just a matter of identifying the guilty party.
Well, he's got a choice of about 5 guys in the immediate vicinity on the offensive line.
Holding. Offense, number 50.
Yeah, so
second down.
Center. I don't believe I've seen a football game this entire season in which the center hasn't been called at least once in the game to hold. 4 wide receivers in there now for Philadelphia as the ball comes back. Setting on the 29. Nope. They go to Bryant. He bounces outside. Runs away from Leopold. Dives to midfield. First down for Philadelphia.
And Tempest Blair, 27, Gregory Johnson is the man. Kelvin Bryant will not be denied his words on that particular play. The defense takes itself out of this play. Combine that with the right side blocking of number 75, Irv Eatman, and Kelvin Bryant picking up his blocking. The defense, blitzing, linebackers jumped into the middle. Right there, you see LeClaire going in. Eatman just collapsed him down on the inside, giving Kelvin the outside to run to. Great
just
straight
short of
arm,
midfield for Philadelphia. First down. And Fusina will throw again on first down. Goes short to David Riley, the fullback. And Riley crosses the 40. Goes to the 38. And we've got penalty flags flying as Mike Williams and Ken Dunnick get tangled up in a little scuffle. So we've got a personal foul coming here one way or the other.
And a player down on the field, Keith.
One of the stars hurt back
number
on
70.
48. That would be Brad Oates, the tackle.
His brother Bart Oates plays center. He's had knee problems during the 1984 season. The personal foul penalty called against New Jersey.
Well, that is a little bit of good fortune for Philadelphia here, and the penalty is against the Generals, but they're more, I think, worried about what's going on with Bart Oates back upfield, the offensive tackle, who is down. Brad Oates, excuse me. And he's hurt.
Personal foul, defense, number 29. First down.
Brad Oates is a 7-year veteran out of Brigham Young.
So while they're tending to Brad Oates, we've got a timeout. The penalty call was against Mike Williams. He laid a shot on the tight end, Ken Dunnick, and got caught. Brad Oates being carried off the field. It looks like a knee. That would be the 3rd one in this ball game. Barbaro for the Generals, Wayne Harris for the Generals, and now Oates, Brad for Philadelphia. First down for the Stars. The football is sitting at the 23 of New Jersey. Kelvin Bryant tries to slide off left guard. But stepping in is Jim LeClaire, inside linebacker, to haul him down after he picked up about 1.5 yards to 2.
Kelvin Bryant having some words downfield, or excuse me, Irv Eatman downfield was having some words with number 56, Willie Harper. Probably discussing the fine art of pugilism.
Well, it was a nice pose that Irv put on in midfield last week.
Yes. All he needed was for long shorts, One of those long wax mustaches.
With Jeff Brunson. Second down and 8. Usinavac looks at Fitzke, looks the other way. Now they've got him. Good play by James Lockett of Missouri, who stayed after him and got him back beyond the 35 at the 36. Big loss there.
Yeah, real big loss. Yeah, Eatman has him right here. He's blocking on him. He keeps him to the outside. He gets a little help on the inside from Comiskey, who's free. But then when Comiskey comes to the outside, Eatman's help on the inside is gone. Eatman thinks he has someone there to pick him up on that move, but because Comiskey came out, he lost that protection.
Yeah, but the play was set, looked to me like originally to go to Fitzke on this side. Scott took it back inside, and once Chuck started to scramble, the offensive lineman lost contact with him.
Leopold jumped outside, played underneath it. He couldn't get it to Fitzke.
So it's a loss all the way back to near the 36. They need about 23 yards. And they've let the clock run out, so that's 5 more yards. The 30-second clock ran out. They were late getting the play in from the sidelines, it appeared. And then once they got up to the line of scrimmage, it seemed that Chuck checked off. And by that time, they'd used up the 30 seconds.
One big sack by James Lockett, 5 yards, delay of game. And now they are out of field goal position.
But he picked up almost 28 yards for a first down. Well, everybody else seems pumped up wearing a red shirt right now. Maybe David Count's pumped up too.
Give him a shot. That's all he asked for.
I don't think they want to give New Jersey the ball, though, on the 40.
No.
Good protection. You've seen his pass is overthrown. His tight end, Dunnick, was in front of Gregory Johnson, the strong safety, but the pass was overthrown. And again, I remind you of the comment that Lynn Swan made a moment ago about the rather severe crown in the field, that as the man breaks to the sidelines, the receiver breaks to the sidelines, he in effect is running downhill. And if the quarterback is standing out in the middle of the field, then he's got to throw the ball downhill. Sean Landetta now is going to try to kill it deep. Spins it, though, and it'll go to the end zone. He almost hit it in the Schuylkill.
I'm sure he would rather put a little more touch on that, but number 57, John Miller, was coming in hard from the outside, so Sean Landetta could not take his time to kill the ball inside. New Jersey will have the ball on the 20-yard line.
Exciting USFL divisional playoff action continues as the Tampa Bay Bandits battle the league's #1 rusher Joe Cribbs and the Birmingham Stallions, or the Arizona Wranglers tackle the quarterback who rewrote football's record books, Jim Kelly in Houston, on the USFL tomorrow.
New Jersey now with a heavy need to put something on the scoreboard from the 20, sight back, first down. Whips it to Walker. Herschel gets a little help and crosses the 30 to the 31. Now they're asking for a call against Jeff Speck, the tight end, for whacking somebody, and they're not going to get it.
And Keith, by all right, they could have gotten the call against him. The whistle had blown. Speck came over and put Sam Mills, number 54, the inside linebacker, down on the seat of his pants. But it wasn't the kind of hit that I think was delivered with malice or an intent to aggravate or hurt anyone. Probably just didn't hear the whistle.
From the 32, a first down. Carthen to the 34, where Sam Mills collared him. See, the offense of the Generals has been relatively meager in their last 4 possessions of the ball. That first possession looked like it was going to go somewhere and ended with the interception by Scott Werner. Second down and 6 and a first down as the ball is thrown to Clarence Collins, and Collins is out of bounds up in the vicinity of the 43-yard line. Collins' first catch of the day, first one.
Number 26, Jonathan Sutton, was the man that took him out of bounds. You know, and talking about the swing of momentum and emotion in this ball game, when Philadelphia had those first 2 turnovers, Keith, there was no change because the defense has always played well against the New Jersey Generals. It was the offense, as soon as they scored the first touchdown, that really picked up and intensified in this ball game.
Right. First down, sight back to throw, 43-yard line. Walker got it short in the middle and runs it across midfield and goes down to the Philadelphia 43. So now New Jersey looks like they might be mounting something here.
Number 59, John Bunning, 56, George Cooper, and I think number 47, Garcia Lane, all in on that tackle. He's running from right to left. He doesn't really get upfield to gain the strength underneath, get his body moving in the right direction, but it still took 3 people to bring him down.
And got a first down. Walker pounds into the middle. In that territory, you kind of take what you can and hope you survive it. He gets to about the 39 for 4 yards on the play.
Taking a little time to unpile Herschel Walker. Get all the weight off of him. Walt Michaels is a calm coach, and I think his kind of non-emotional outlook that he presents on the sideline is not an indication of the man's emotion or the intensity in which he coaches a team. Knows his team does not have to really go out and take chances. They still have a lot of time in this ballgame.
We're just into the third quarter, 9:10 to go. And Sipe on second down and 6. He's got Collins. He's got the first down at the 29 of Philadelphia in front of Jonathan Sutton.
Well, he sent number 81, Jeff Speck, the tight end, and number 33, Maurice Cawthon, down the sideline, down the right sideline of the field, and 82, Collins goes inside, then breaks to the outside in the areas that they help vacate. Sutton and Gibson, 26 and 23, come over for the stop. Typical pass for New Jersey.
This possession started at the 20. That's Danny Knight, and Knight's got a first down. No, he did not. He hit the chalk just in front of the marker. He does not have a first down.
Now that still gives him second down and 1, and here's where Walt Michaels really likes to take a chance. He figures he can get 1 yard with either Cawthon or Herschel Walker anytime he wants to. He's got 2 plays right now in order to pick it up before he reaches that 4th down. Second and 1, I think he'll try something big, try and go for the big play, put it in the end zone. A little play action pass.
We've got Knight to the bottom of the picture with Lane on him. We've got Collins, who's squared up with Gibson. They go the other way with it. Try to get the ball to Carthen, and Carthen is whacked by George Jameson, an inside linebacker.
He had man-to-man coverage on the play, Keith. Looked like if he had the time, Danny Knight was going to break open across the middle.
Now he's got the problem of the nickel defense coming in for Philadelphia. So he's got an extra defensive back, one with more mobility to work against.
Well, no, they've got right now a goal line defense, Keith, because they've got that 3rd and 1. They've got a little more manpower and strength on the front of the line.
Bring Werner in. You've got Werner, McCants, Gibson, Lush, and step a linebacker up your right. They send Carthen, and it depends on the mark.
It's going to be close. The official coming in from the far sideline might have marked him short by about 1/3 of a yard, Keith. One-third of a yard, 1 foot, 12 inches.
Weather getting brighter and brighter now.
Some little patches of blue.
Just short.
I think you got to go for it.
Well, I don't think there's any question. Down 21-0, 8:20 to play, third quarter. You got to send Herschel over the top.
Well, ball inside the Philadelphia 20-yard line. You don't want to lose a prime opportunity to put 6 points on the scoreboard.
Norris Brown, Jeff Speck, and Sam Bowers, 3 tight ends, are now in there. Philadelphia loads up its defensive punt. Little jawbone right here. Walker's got it. Goes all the way to the 15. Fumbles the football. They're going to call him down?
Yep, they called him down at about just short of the 15-yard line. We'll take a look. That's real close. Herschel Walker fighting for every yard he can get. Doesn't have to dive. He gets to the line of scrimmage easily. He's not down yet. The ball's hit.
That's a fumble.
He's hit by number 25, Scott Warner, and that is a fumble.
Scott was shaken up on the play, rolled around a little bit, and then got up and walked off. I tell you, he's a tough head knocker.
Yes, he is.
I watched him for 4 years, University of Georgia. I thought it was definitely a fumble because the ball was loose before Herschel ever sat down.
Yeah.
But they keep it, and it's first down as the Generals get a break on the 15. Lush shows blitz. They are blitzing. And the man that makes the hit is Fielder. 5-yard loss back to the 20.
Well, in a case like that, an offensive line has a blocking scheme it tries to follow. When they show a certain kind of blitz or formation on defense, each member of that line has a responsibility. They brought a whole bunch of people up to the line of scrimmage. Lush, Mills, the linebackers all showing blitz. Everybody went off to take their assignment. Someone didn't take. Don Fielder. He came in clean and was in the backfield just as Herschel Walker received the football.
And he's big enough to handle Herschel.
Anytime.
Sight back. His pass thrown hard, dropped by Danny Knight. Knight was coming back to the ball in front of Garcia Lane and dropped it.
They did everything right on that play except make the catch. Pressure by Philadelphia. They handled it. He turns. He's coming back to the football like he should. He gets his hands on it and doesn't hang on to it. He gets up in the air, just goes right between his hands, bounces off his chest. Keith, that's 2 passes today that Danny Knight dropped.
Right.
He should have had. The other was a big third down play.
It's 3rd and 15 at the Philadelphia 20. Again showing blitz. They got him.
George Cooper. George Cooper, number 56, Michigan State. Outside linebacker. He just comes around the top of the block. Millard's out there. No one handles him. Comes in, almost takes a ball out of the hands of Brian Sight. Instead, it's a sack. Brings on Roger Ruzick.
He's tried twice today. Been wide left from 42 yards, wide right from 49 yards, and this one is from 42. Plenty of leg. Looks good, but it is not. It is outside the uprights. He had it very, very high, and it sailed outside the upright. And once again, the New Jersey Generals are turned away by a gambling Philadelphia defense. The last 3 the New Jersey possessions have ended in missed field goals. Ruzek only missed 6 in the whole season. Today he's 0 for 3, but from fair distances of 42, 49, and 42. Philadelphia with the football at the 25, and carrying is Kelvin Bryant for a short gain. If you're interested in, there's Roger Ruzek. If you're interested in ratings of quarterbacks, Chuck Bucina was the top-rated quarterback with 104.7 in the USFL during the course of the season based on their rating system. If you apply that same rating system to his performance today, Swanee, he's plus 144. Not bad, huh?
It's called playoff ready. Get your team peaked, get your players excited about it, play your best.
Prime contender for MVP honors, I would think, with Jim Kelly of Houston. This is Kelvin Bryant, who was the MVP a year ago, and Kelvin takes a pretty good whacking as he picks up about a yard with Leopold and Lockett leading the tacklers, so it'll be third down and about 5. Make it 6.
Well, I think when you sit down and you look at what's happened in the USFL this year in terms of individual play and effort, the only, I think, real choices to make are Chuck Fusina and Jim Kelly. A lot of people played well, but those two have just had outstanding individual seasons and leading their teams to the playoffs.
The ball is just over the 28-yard line. Third down. 2 out of 5 on third down conversions today. They got 4 wide people for Fusina. He's got Bixby, but he gives it instead to Bryant, and Bryant breaks loose. And finally he's out of bounds at midfield. Oh, he's having a game, isn't he?
Oh, he is. Kelvin Bryant, watch Chuck Fusina's head. He's looking to his left. He waits for Kelvin Bryant to come out of the pile, going back on the shallow route to his right. Look at Kelvin. Little move. He gets Terry Daniels to fall down, stays in bounds. He's out, and Matty Ace, number 75, hits him as he's out of bounds, but he was so close, I'm sure Matty Ace did not realize it.
Right at midfield. First down. Bryant caught behind the line of scrimmage and dragged down by Tom Woodland. Bryant is now hot because Woodland gave him a little gig after the play. Yes. Young man from Tarboro is hot.
Well, John Preston, number 25, came up from his strong safety position and blitz position. When he shot to the inside, it freed up Tom Woodland. Woodland came in and made the tackle while Kelvin Bryant was on the ground. I think he just kind of held on to his leg a little bit longer, twisting it while he was getting up. You see him right there. He's got the leg. Just twisted a little bit. David Riley said before the game that yesterday he was upset when he heard himself last year that ball players were trying to twist the knees and ankles when they made the tackle.
Ryan Thomas comes in while they cool off Kelvin a little. Second down and 13. Ball back to the 47. Here's the cool customer, Fusina. Down the middle, incomplete. Willie Collier. Willie going to get up? Yeah, he'll get up. But I'll tell you one thing, he was stretched out pretty well. Gregory Johnson, one of those that hit him.
A holding penalty called against Philadelphia. You see number 71, he's getting up slow. Right there, he tries to come in. He's being double teamed, driven down to the turf. Chuck gets the ball off. Willie has it in traffic. Willie's got to hold on to it, but notice how the forearms were flying on that play.
Johnson and
Woodland limping quite a bit there.
And Preston both hit Collier, and Woodland now is going to have to lead the ball game.
It's called the old payback, Keith. Just a little bit.
What'd they do, eat the flag? Must have. No penalty.
No penalty gives them a third and about 13 yards. With the penalty, they would have a second down and even longer, but they'd rather take the loss of down.
Fitzke, right at the 40. That could be a first down. That's a bad mark. That's a bad mark. He was across the 40 when he caught the ball and was knocked back.
He was carried back. Watch him. He's got Collier underneath him.
He hits the 40-yard line. See where he is?
Right here, he's in the air. You're right, Keith. Should be a first down.
Bad mark. Fisher was not in position. The linesman not in position to call it. Fourth and about a foot. I mean, it looks to me like Philadelphia is going to go for it.
I think they will. I think they've been riled up just enough to make Jim Moore give his team the opportunity.
They got Bryant back in there.
Number number 34, Jeff Rodenberger. Also number 35, David Riley.
Officials have called time, and the referee, Ted Hump, is going to the sidelines. So we'll talk about what? The clock? Yeah, the clock. 2 minutes and 50 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. And there's something wrong with it. You can see that Bryant has had a heck of a day for the Philadelphia Stars.
And he has another period to play. Well, it gives everybody a little time to think about it, cool down a bit. That'll be to the advantage of New Jersey, too.
Trying to straighten it out here and get the correct time on the clock. Back judge normally is the man that keeps it, or the alternate. In the case they had gone over to talk to the alternate official, Ted Colano, to make sure that they had the right time, and he's come over now to explain it to Jim Morrow. It would seem to me that it serves both sides, as you said, well here. We might have an evening of the tempers. New Jersey obviously getting frustrated. Philadelphia's all pumped up right now.
Well, all the advantages and breaks they never had in the first 2 ball games seem to have stored them up. They're getting in the day. Brian Sipes on the sideline. Brian knows he has enough time, I think, to lead his team back. But he's got to get in the ball game and put the ball in the air and get some big plays and not use up so much of that clock.
Yeah, it should be 3:06 on the clock, and they're going to run it down until they get there, and then we'll go ahead and play football. Well, they went past 3:06.
3:02.
We'll settle for 2. Now we go.
Now they come out in the power I formation. Calvin Bryant. No split backs, a close formation.
Busina gets the first down, reaching the 39.
Well, for the toughest yard in football, to give it to the little guy, is that kind of rubbing salt in the wound?
He just wanted to call his own number.
I don't think Chuck called his own number. Not on that one.
He's picked up 3 first downs today, running for 22 yards.
Just following the center.
Joe taught him that. Joe taught him that at Penn State. 39, first down, Stars. Bryant. No, whoa, look out. He spun that thing around inside.
That ball was right on top, too.
Certainly was. Jim Byrne had a hold of him, and Leopold put him down. They put it right back down at the 39. That looks like I feel someone.
Now the Stars have eyes on the playoffs. On the championship, I should say.
Clock running at 1:50 to play in the 3rd quarter. Second down and 10, Philadelphia on the New Jersey 39. 21-0, Stars are leading. Busina. Short man, Riley. Coverage by Harper.
Well, that pass was thrown just behind David Riley. He tried to reach back and grab it. Harper was all over him.
You know what they were right now on this 3rd down play, I wouldn't be surprised to see is a long post by Fitzke, because that time he was running a fly and he had gotten away down the sidelines.
Well, very often you take a receiver like Fitzke who doesn't have the great speed, and he spends 3/4 of the day setting you up for something like that.
Now, he is clever.
He'll go back and huddle and say, "Oh, Penn State, buddy, Chuck, throw me this one."
This is Kelvin Bryant over the left side. First down. Perhaps one leg away from a touchdown, as number 75, Frank Mattias, had a hold of him and hung on for dear life to bring him down.
Well, it's a little wiggle, Keith. A little wiggle. A little waggle, and then just getting down to business. Just watch his moves here. He's fluid, keep his feet close to the ground. Just that little waggle is keeping Billy Caesar flat-footed, so he has just enough time to get his first down.
I don't believe Caesar handles him, though, if he's got both legs.
Hey, if Kelvin Bryant wanted to, Billy Caesar standing flat-footed, he runs right over him.
Brian Thomas comes in. Bryant out now for a breather. Pitsky in motion. First down. Ball on the 28 of New Jersey. Up the middle. David Riley, the fullback.
He lost the ball.
Football. And Philadelphia looks like they've covered it at about the 21. They do.
He lost the football. The center, Bart Oates, I think, was the man who was down there closest to the ball. He comes up quickly through the line of scrimmage. David Riley, if you take a look at the replay, he gets a good hold there, shoots through, and right there, Bergie Johnson, when he makes a tackle, his right arm comes across, knocks it loose, and I still can't tell who that was that dove on top.
Ball is on the 21. The pickup was about 7 yards. It'll be second down and 3. There is some tough work going on in the trenches right now. This is Brian Thomas. Tries to cut it back, loses his footing, and gets over the 20 to the 19.
Keith, you talk about some big hits. David Riley just picked up Willie Hopper and laid him down on that play. On the second hit, engaged him, then lifted him right off the ground.
The clock will run out, and Philadelphia after 3/4 leads it by a score of 21-0. USFL football, the Generals and the Stars, will continue here on ABC after this message and a word from your local station. The divisional playoffs. Atlantic Division teams, the champion Philadelphia, the wild card entry in the playoffs, New Jersey. It's been pretty much all Philadelphia over the last 2 quarters. Here we go to the final 15 minutes now. And Philadelphia with third down and a yard to keep the football. And Bryant goes over the top for it, and I don't know about that mark. It does not look like it's enough.
There's some quick motion and action on the part of the Philadelphia Stars.
Pretty close.
But I don't think it really picked up the first down. Didn't help.
Field goal gets pretty big right here, doesn't it?
Real big. Now you see the stats from the third quarter. New Jersey leading in every category, even one they don't want to lead in except for 2. In terms of yards rushing, Philadelphia the advantage with 119 to 65, and the one they don't want to have the lead in is in turnovers. 2 turnovers for New Jersey and 0 for Philadelphia.
Short, just that much.
Philadelphia is short. Yeah.
Kelvin Bryant motion, he wants to go. And he's now come across, taking off his helmet and yelling at the sidelines. He wants to go for it, and they're going to let him. Field goal would make it 24-0 if Trout could hit it. But they're going to go. They only need about 4 inches, looks like.
So close and yet so far away. Where's that line? Where does this line come from? Water everywhere, and now they drop to drink. Yeah, 4 inches against the tough defense.
Don't test my memory, please. Bryant's got it. So Philadelphia's got 4 more snaps. And they're down there about inside the 18.
That's 55. Leclerc, he's coming up. He's going to try and stop him at the height of his jump. But right there, Riley takes him on. Gives Kelman the time he needs to dive over the top. And anytime you go over the top, you got to be a pretty tough ball player and want it badly.
Call it 17-yard line. First down. Philadelphia. Timeout. You've seen him looked around, looked at the people he had. looked at the defensive alignment. They're down on the 17. He didn't want to screw things up, possibly come up with a turnover or something. So the wiser one says, wait a minute. I want somebody else to help me make this decision. So we've got a timeout. This will be the 15th play of this possession by Philadelphia, and they have killed 7.5 minutes off the clock in this possession. They lead 21-0, and they have it first down on the New Jersey 17-yard line. Bryant got a big block from Eatman around the corner inside the 10, and stopped at the 8 by Terry Daniels, out of bounds.
Showing in his second year of professional football, not only does he have the strength to block big people, but he is learning the responsibility of reading who you're supposed to block and then picking him up. Harper tries to come in quickly from the outside. Irv Eatman makes the adjustment on his block, takes him to the outside, opens up the lane for Kelvin Bryant.
Picked up 9 yards, second down and 1, ball at the New Jersey 8-yard line. Bryant again. Down behind the line of scrimmage at the 9, Tom Woodland. Big Tom out of Missouri. Stayed at home that time and made a fine play.
Kelvin got out there so quick behind his blocking, and his blocking was just driving people away from the line of scrimmage. He got caught up, was looking for another place to run. All fired up and had no place to go right away. Tried to cut back to the inside, and Woodland was waiting for him.
You know, one of the more dangerous receivers as far as speed is concerned has not seen the ball at all today for Philadelphia. It's Herbert Harris.
That's right. He was a young man who, every time I've seen him play this year, really turned in a good, solid performance.
It is third down and 2 now from the 9. And Fusina bootlegs it. Has the first down as he gets near the 5. Ball bounced loose, but he's down. John Preston, the strong safety, coming across. John had to make the play on him, but he just simply couldn't get there in time.
Naked bootleg here. He just takes a ball. Doesn't even fake it to Kelvin, really. Takes up and runs. And the quarterback hopes he gets a linebacker instead. He's got to run against the defensive back, John Preston, who brings him down, but not until he picks up the first down.
I'll tell you one thing, too, about Preston. You know, he's not a gimme. He weighs 215 pounds. So he can, he makes you know he's in the neighborhood when he whacks you.
Not me. I'm up here.
It is first and goal, Philadelphia, at the Generals' 5. Fusina wanted to throw, now does, and it is incomplete. Intended for tight end Ken Dunning.
A mix-up in the backfield there, Keith.
Looked like it.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to fake it to Kelvin or someone. There was no one there. He stumbled just a bit, then finally righted himself, sprinted to the outside, got rid of the ball, trying to get it to Dunning. Take a look, it's Fusina. He's coming out looking to his right, bobbles the ball a bit, destroys the timing. He's got Harper coming in from the outside. Gilbert, the guard, left side guard, pulls, makes a good block to give him time. Tries to throw one in, but it's just too low for Ken Dunning. Looked like he might have run.
Second and goal. Kelvin Bryant to about the 2.
I think this is a job for not Superman, but the right side of the offensive line.
Well, they got it set up right. They got it on the left hash mark.
Irv Eatman has been in on every play with the exception of 8 offensive plays during the season. All of them. That's 99.4%, 99.3% of the offensive plays for Philadelphia. Chuck Comiskey has been in.
Got Rodenberger going that way, and that's where they're going. Touchdown!
Chuck Comiskey has been in 99% of the offensive plays both years. So it's no wonder The right side of the offensive line has held up, has been the side they go to for the tough yards, and the side that Kelvin Bryant runs behind on his third touchdown of the day. David Riley out in front. The line does their job. David Trout does his here. It'll be a 28-0 ball game.
Bryant now 20 carries, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns running, 1 touchdown catching. And David Trout's kick is good. You've got 10 minutes and 41 seconds to play in the football game, and the Philadelphia Stars giving the Tampa Bay Bandits and Birmingham something to see. The Philadelphia Stars ran 20 plays in that possession for 75 yards and a touchdown, but here it is. Look at that. They held the ball for 11 minutes and 48 seconds. As they kick off now to New Jersey, it will be New Jersey's second offensive possession of the second half.
It's called playing defense on offense. They can't score if they don't have the football.
It's about to get called a whooping, too. It is Timmy White cutting in front of Pegues to pick it up, the faster man, but the ball hung up there so long that he really didn't get a chance. The coverage was right under his chin when he caught the ball, and Timmy takes it out of bounds at about the 19, and there New Jersey will start. New Jersey possession, singular, if you will. And they're teetering now on the verge of elimination, for sure, and desperation, for sure.
They've been throwing the ball a lot so far in the ball game. They're going to have to do it even more and deeper.
They got Walker outside, 2 wide receivers to the bottom of the picture on first down from their 19, and sight back to throw. Dumps it off short to the tight end, Sam Bowers, and Bowers getting coverage from George Cooper. The pass was again a little bit high, and again, remember, the quarterback standing in the middle of the field has got to throw it downhill because of the crown, and you've got a penalty flag thrown up around the 28-yard line, and it's a foul against Philadelphia.
Holding. Sam Bowers did what receivers call short-arming the football, Keith. The ball was a little high, but it went up, but it didn't get full extension on it.
The Stars are called for holding defensively, 5-yard penalty. Ball comes out to the 24, where it's first down and 5. No. They make it first down and 10. They moved the chains? Why would they move the chains? It's only a 5-yard penalty. Back goes Sipe. Walker out 30, 31, 32 for Herschel. Let's check in now with Irv Eatman as he visits with Mike Adamle.
Irv, Keith Jackson and Lynn Swan have been singing the praises of the right side of your offensive line all afternoon. Now, I know you'd be the first to admit that Calvin Bryant's the kind of back that can turn hamburger into filet mignon, but you guys have been doing a whale of a job.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. We haven't made every block, but we know we're doing our best. We wanted to come out this week and play up to our capabilities, and I think we've been able to do that most of the afternoon.
Okay. Well, keep it up, and it looks like next week, huh?
All right, thanks, Mike.
Brian Sipe running for his life, literally, dives out of bounds up around the 35-yard line.
He ran out of bounds, and none of the players tried to stop him. They just moved out of his way and just let him fall into the turf. Fuller, one of the defensive linemen, had the chance to just stop him, help him up. Just casually moved like he was a bullfighter.
Well, it is a physical game, isn't it?
Yep.
Who's hurt?
I can't tell.
It's Buddy Moore.
Buddy Moore.
Herschel Walker on the day has run 15 times for 49 yards, but he's caught 6 passes for 80, so he's produced 129 yards. Buddy up now. Looks to be all right. Bowers is out. Speck is in at tight end for New Jersey. It's true, they only had 16 pass completions in the first 2 games, but they made most of them count. Today today they have not. Sipe, 17 out of 28 for 188 yards, and he's got a big 0 on the scoreboard. Sipe's pass good to Collins. Collins cut down. It's Garcia Lane that does it. And they've got him short of the first down. They mark him at the 42. He's got to go up to the 46 to get the first down.
Now they're going motion again, trying to get some confusion, picking off the defense.
Going without a huddle. Carter can't get the first down. Runs into Sam Mills and Don Fielder. No, it's Mike Johnson. Well, the expressions are less talk today on the Philadelphia side.
Yep. Certainly
gloomy over there.
Yeah, well, it's very gloomy.
It's 3rd and about 5. That's Carthen. He's got the first down. Maurice gets across midfield and to the Philadelphia 48 and then some.
Out of bounds, stopping the clock.
And time
certainly
is the ally of Philadelphia, certainly now.
Yes. And Jim Moore discussing the possibility of a new jinx here. Is certainly making sure that that will not be discussed anymore.
Yep. 8:56 to play in the ball game. Looks like the Stars will be here again next Sunday, and they will meet the winner of the Tampa Bay Birmingham game, which you'll see tomorrow in the eastern part of the country. Well, they've got 3, 6, 7 up there, but 3 of them drop off. They had a hold of Sipe, and that's all you got to do in the grass. And it was William Fuller that got both hands on him, and it'll go into the books as the 3rd sack of the New Jersey quarterback.
It looked like they lined up off sides, too, when they were doing it just by hand, but the official didn't think so. Right now, Keith, Kugler is on the sideline, Bunning is on the sideline, players getting a little rest, figuring this game is well in hand.
Loss is back to the 41. It's about a 12-yard loss as Sipe goes to the sideline and is caught by Roger Ruzek. So it'll be 2nd down and about 22 yards. Tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time in Minneapolis, we'll have the U.S. Olympic basketball team coached by Bobby Knight against the NBA Stars. And among the stars will be all-stars as well. Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Randy Brewer.
A lot of people say
Mark
that
Oberding.
Isaiah and I look alike and play alike.
They look a little alike, but you don't play alike. Penalty flag. Pass complete to Danny Knight at midfield, but you may have a holding call coming here against the Generals. I think maybe Frank Naylor, who had gone in to play the guard position in relief of Wayne Harris, may get dinged right here.
I think Philadelphia may also decline it.
Well, bring up 4th down. Yeah.
4th down and about 12 or...
No, 3. He was up at midfield when he caught it. Mora wants him to accept the penalty. They got to go just inside the 40, or near the 47 to get the first down, so they would need...
No, it's near the 37.
37. Well, you're right, Gosh.
Holding. Offense number 51. Still 3rd down.
Strong in math, huh?
Yep.
My problem is I can't see.
67, Pete Kugler back in the ball game. Frank Naylor, the man you mentioned, Keith, this is a man called for holding. Right there, it's takedown time.
So it's 3rd down and about 3/4 of a mile. Sipe's pass is away for Clarence Collins. He makes the catch all right, but then takes a solid hit at the Philadelphia 45. They got a big chunk of it back, didn't they?
Yep. So it brings up 4th down and less than 10, where before they were at 4th down and 13 yards.
Yep.
Well, it's okay if one decision backfires on Jim Mora today, because certainly not much else has.
Fourth down and about 8. Philadelphia was offside. You finally get a late flag. Ball is loose and covered by New Jersey. Brian Millard jumps on it, but you've got a penalty call up at the line of scrimmage.
And vents a little frustration as he throws away the football.
Offside, Philadelphia. I thought so. The man at the top of the picture, defensive end up there. I don't know whether it was a lineman or a linebacker, but somebody was offside.
We'll take a look as they line up on this replay just who the offender was. Oh, can't see from that angle.
Picture.
Oh, yes, we can.
I don't think it was inside, though. I think it was the man at the top of the screen.
Kugel looks like he, was probably outside there.
Whatever. It is down to the 40, where it is now fourth down. And two ways of looking at it, short 4 or long 3.
Anyway, it's tough.
7.5 minutes to play. Sipe got to be looking for Speck. Got him at the 33. Speck went in, took the chuck from Gibson and turned right back into his quarterback, and Sipe nailed him right on the numbers.
7:15 on the clock. They're running a hurry-up offense, and they need to.
5 catches for Speck, 63 yards in the game. Sipe gets it away. Corner route. Collins covered by Garcia Lane. Penalty flag thrown.
Oh boy!
Be called. Which way?
I don't know. Let's take a look. I was about to say that Brian Sipe really hasn't gone deep today, with the exception of one pass on the sideline. Here goes Clarence Collins. Nothing fancy. It's a takeoff and up, streaking down the sideline. He's got the angle. The ball's coming over the top.
I didn't see anything on Lane's part, did you?
I didn't see anything there either.
You got another?
He's watching the receiver. Let's roll it back and take another look. The ball comes over the top. Go forward from here. Watch his left arm right there.
Ball's past him.
They must have just seen something we didn't see, Keith.
6:56 to play in the ball game, and it's a first down for New Jersey at the Philadelphia 18. Sipe gets it off. Oh, it is caught. Caught by Hackett.
Hackett doesn't get much out of it. Pretty tough catch. He had the ball in his hand, and also Antonio Gibson, number 23, had the ball in his hand.
Got to go north and south with the ball, 20. There's one thrown north and south, and it's good to Sam Bowers, and it's inside the 5. First and goal to go for New Jersey. He took a lick. Scott Werner was one of those that whacked him along with Antonio Gibson.
I'm sitting here echoing the oohs and ahs of the crowd. I got hurt on that play.
Sam's big enough, he can take it.
Better he than me.
First and goal from about the 4. Tripped. Bowers is tripped as he gets tangled up with Lush.
I'm sorry for laughing. I don't understand this one. There ought to be a pass interference called right here. Unintentional pass interference on Lush as he tripped him up on the play. Well,
I think that's almost an automatic, isn't it?
It should be.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. We missed a couple.
Second down and goal. a penalty flag. Knight catches the ball. You got another penalty flag thrown down near the goal line now.
Jonathan Sutton came up for the hit, separated Knight from the ball. Jim Morris having his sideline now. So now what are you going to call this time?
First call's against New Jersey.
Second call's against New Jersey.
You take the more severe. That Los Angeles Express Michigan ball game is tied with 52 seconds to play, 21-21.
And the sleeping Giants may be flexing their muscles this weekend.
Defending champions.
Yep. In the sense that Michigan, defending champions, a better football team than they've shown this year. Also the Arizona Wranglers, who will play Houston tomorrow. You see the score there.
Illegal formation, offense, not enough men on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, offense number 80, 10-yard penalty, loss of down, third down.
You take the more severe penalty.
And the loss of down, that penalty is very severe.
Makes it third down and goal as the football comes back to the 14.
I think they'll blitz him here, Keith. They've shown pass every time. Let them go man-to-man coverage. Put the pressure on Brian Sipe and see if he can get the ball away.
Yep, they're coming. Got away from one, but couldn't get away from two. George Cooper was the one who got through. Sipe was able to dump the ball without taking the loss. But Cooper...
Well, both safeties come up, and then the outside linebackers come at the same time. They get a hand on Brian Sipe. He gets the ball away. His receiver hadn't even turned around yet, but he was in the area. George Cooper. He's been playing very well all day today, Keith. Exceptionally well. Forcing plays inside, making tackles, covering well in the pass rush, and blitzing extremely well.
It's fourth and goal from the 14.
Looks like man-to-man coverage all the way.
It's touchdown for Clarence Collins as Sipe beat the blitz and got it to Collins. At 5:34 to play in the ball game, the Generals' final score. The last team to shut out New Jersey was Philadelphia by a 25-0 score back in March of last year.
Replay, area blocking by the offensive line, man-to-man coverage, and Collins just streaked down the field, running past Antonio Gibson. Very simple. It's what you have to do when you have a blitz. Get the ball away quickly. Receivers don't have time to do anything fancy.
The kick for the point is good. So you've got 5 minutes and 34 seconds to play in this playoff game, with Philadelphia now leading 28-7. The stats on Brian Sipe today: his team down 28-7. We're now told it is in overtime at the Los Angeles Coliseum, tied 21-21 between Michigan and Los Angeles. Onside kick coming up right here. It's grabbed by Tom Donovan. And Donovan lunges across the 40, and it'll be Philadelphia's football, first down at the New Jersey 38.
Well, Tommy Donovan's a wide receiver, and whenever he scores, does something good, he gets in the end zone, turns a little flip. As Roger Ruzek pops that ball over, they've got their onside prevent team in there. He gets it, ducks down, everybody misses him.
Well, I tell you,
he starts to take off. He steps into the arms of someone else.
Could have scored right there, too. You know that? Timeout on the field.
The United States Football League is an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Today's divisional playoff game is being sponsored by Lowenbrau. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrau. And by Pepto-Bismol. Pepto-Bismol coats, soothes, and relieves. Pepto-Bismol for most common stomach discomforts.
Indianapolis with time running out. Less than a minute left. L.A. scored on this Kevin Nelson 1-yard touchdown run to cut the margin to 21-19. Steve Young had kept the drive alive several times with clutch runs. Now for the 2-point conversion, he did it once again, running into the corner of the end zone to tie it at 21. They're now in overtime, Keith.
I can't tell you how many folks are here at Franklin Field. It's a fairly decent crowd considering the very bad weather this morning, the fact that they've had to move the ball game. The Stars will be playing here next week against the winner of Tampa Bay Birmingham unless we have something terribly dramatic in the way of a turnaround. And it would be on the border of miraculous as Kelvin Bryant goes rumbling up the middle. Moves it from the 38 down to the 31. Picked up 7 yards.
Well, Keith, this is not the same booth you worked in before when you were here at Franklin Field, is it?
No. I don't. That's a long time ago. That was 14 years ago. Monday Night Football game, 1970.
Huh. Is that when Don first started wearing cowboy boots?
I remember this. It was a cold night. It was about 22 degrees. 31-yard line. Second down and 3. Alan Harbin in the ball game and can't get around the corner. He picks up a yard down to the 30. So it's third down and 2. On ABC's Monday Night Baseball presentation next Monday, you've got an American League game and a National League game. Both good ones, both the good matchups. Chicago at San Diego and Detroit playing the Chicago White Sox. Every once in a while, the White Sox look like they're going to crank it up and make a move in the American League West, but each time they haven't been able to make a big move. Detroit, of course, got off to that incredible start, and they're still sitting way out in front of the pack in the American League East. Third down and 2. And whistle stopped it. We had some movement along the front line. Well, Lynn Swann leaves Philadelphia tonight, headed for Houston, and tomorrow's ball game against the featuring the Houston Gamblers against the Arizona Wranglers.
Let's go, Kelvin, get it going.
That could be a very important ball game. The winner coming out of that one could be a tough customer.
Extremely tough.
I'm going to Minneapolis for a little Olympic basketball at 12:30 Eastern Time tomorrow here on ABC. We'll have regional coverage of both the football games tomorrow as well. Terrible accident to Bill Winnington, center for St. John's during his collegiate time and playing with the Canadian national team. Had a severe concussion, is listed in fair condition after a fall. This is Bryant, and Kelvin on the first down play slants it just inside the 20.
Obviously, Kelvin Bryant does not care whether it's 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter or the first. He's going to run hard. Now, the 4th of July weekend, or 4th of July being in the middle of the week, probably has had a very strong effect, Keith, on attendance in the ball games. People taking a longer weekend, going away early, and maybe some people might be gone next weekend also, extending the 4th.
I think you got your choice. It's on Wednesday. You can take either end of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Second down. About 5 as Harbin pops it up in the middle, and he is close to a first down. Allen getting down to about the New Jersey 15. And now it would seem it's just a matter of running out the clock with the Philadelphia Stars leading New Jersey 28-7.
Well, the advantage of Philadelphia being a team that can pass and score quickly and also possess the football against a team that really offensively can only possess the football and can't score quickly. In the late moments or early in the 4th period of the ball game, they can afford to go to a ball control offense, grind out the clock, because they're not as afraid of the offensive team on the other side because they can't score quickly.
It is third down and a half yard to keep it. Kelvin Bryant gets outside, and he's got the first down.
Yeah, more importantly, he slides to a halt, stays in bounds, and we're 2 seconds from the 2-minute warning.
And the whistle. So we've hit the 2-minute mark to play in the football game. And Philadelphia has it in the bag, 28-7.
Exciting USFL Divisional Playoff action continues as the Tampa Bay Bandits battle the league's #1 rusher Joe Cribbs and the Birmingham Stallions, or the Arizona Wranglers tackle the quarterback who rewrote football's record books, Jim Kelly in Houston, on the USFL tomorrow.
I've been given an attendance figure for the Los Angeles, Michigan game today in Los Angeles. I don't know. I can't vouch for its correctness. But the figure I have is 7,964. It's atrocious that those two teams would not go. I just can't believe it. This is Alan Harvin carrying the football inside the 10-yard line for Philadelphia now as the clock starts running. Here in Philadelphia, we have 19,038, and that is a sharply disappointing number. Time permitting, if we have time, we'll switch from here to Los Angeles so you might see the finish of that Los Angeles, Michigan game. So there, the time definitely on the side of Philadelphia, running at a 1:20. And the football sitting near the 9-yard line. Chuck Bucina turns around and hands it away to Brian Thomas, and Thomas cuts it back to the 5, the 4. So the New Jersey Generals, having beaten Philadelphia twice on the season, 17-14 and 16-10, today no mistakes of consequence for Philadelphia. The offense began to roll in the second quarter of play. They led 21-0 at halftime. And with less than a minute to play now, they're sitting on a 28-7 lead. And headed for the winner of the Tampa Bay Bandits Birmingham Stallion game tomorrow. That game will be played next weekend right here at Franklin Field in Philadelphia. Half a minute to go. Harvin gets down to about the 3, maybe the 2.
Kelvin Bryant on the day, Keith. Rushed 23 times for 117 yards and 2 running touchdowns. Caught 2 passes for 35 yards and 1 touchdown. Net result was 152 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Philadelphia Stars. 9 seconds on the clock. Chuck Bucina was 9 for 14 for 125 yards and 1 touchdown.
And the football game is over as the final seconds tick away. And Philadelphia, loser by 2 points in the championship game a year ago against the Michigan Panthers, have taken their first step in the playoffs. And we'll wait now for a decision out of Birmingham tomorrow to know which team they will play next weekend for the Eastern Conference Championship.
The United States Football League is an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Today's divisional playoff game has been sponsored by Dodge, official cars and trucks of the USFL. By Federal Express, when it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight. By light beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. And by Wagner, the right tool for painting.
The Philadelphia Stars advance to the second round of the playoffs, or the conference championship, next weekend against the winner of Tampa Bay and Birmingham. That game played tomorrow and seen in the eastern part of the country here on ABC as well as the south. New Jersey stays alive. They have now won 17 games. Only Miami and the Edmonton Eskimos, the other professional teams, to have won 17 games in a single season. Right now, let's join Mike Adamle as he visits with Kelvin Bryant.
Kelvin, a splendid afternoon, and you know there was a lot of talk that the Philadelphia Stars just might not be able to beat the New Jersey Generals after losing twice, but so much for jinxes this afternoon, huh?
Yeah, you know, I knew we could beat them. You know, we just had to play a whole game, and, you know, we knew they was going to play us tough, and, you know, we just came back second half and just took it right at them.
You think today was one of your better performances? I think so.
Well, I think I played a pretty good game. You know, the offensive line, they did a real good job in opening the holes for me. And, you know, made my job easy.
I suppose no preference next week, either Tampa Bay or Birmingham. Just bring them on, huh?
Hey, I don't care who we play, you know. I think we're going to take it all the way this year.
Okay, Kelvin, again, congratulations and lots of luck. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
I'd like to say hi to my mom and my family back in Tarboro and all the people back in Tarboro.
You got a great one there, Keith.
You still owe us dinner, Bryant. He had quite a day. He's quite a football player as he led, literally, the Philadelphia Stars to their victory over New Jersey, 28-7.
Welcome again, those of you who have watched the Philadelphia Stars 28-7 defeat over the New Jersey Generals. We're going to bring you up to date right now on what is happening in the game currently in overtime in the Western Conference between the Michigan Panthers and the LA Express. Early in the ball game, LA appeared on their way to dominating this game. They got off to an excellent start, scored on the very first possession. Kevin Nelson went in from 5 yards out to give LA a 7-0 lead, and at that point in the game, it really appeared that the Express were on their way to winning easily. Here's that play that capped the end of the first drive. Nelson going in from 5 yards out. Michigan was doing nothing. Hebert missed 7 of his first 8 passes. A field goal later gave LA a 10-0 lead, and then Michigan turned it around. This drive was keyed by the running of that man, Cleo Miller, who scored from 2 yards out, and another veteran, Terry Miller, as Jim Stanley went to some of his more experienced players in the second quarter. Then Hebert threw this pass down the middle. The defender missed the ball, didn't see it, went into the hands of Ken Lacey. Lacey scored, and it was 14-10 Michigan at the half. Then in the third quarter, after Zendejas' field goal made it 14-13, this play, a fake field goal, or a fake punt, I should say, the pass from Jeff Partridge into the hands of Wyman Henderson. Henderson moved well into scoring territory, but the play was called back. The official ruled that Henderson had hid next to the bench area by lining up within 5 yards of the sideline. John Hadel has said that since Henderson came out of the huddle, the play was legal, and he will file an official protest with the league if the Express loses this game. At any rate, it took away an Express scoring opportunity, and on the next drive, Michigan drove 75 yards. To score on that Hebert to Cobb 2-yard pass, when Bojovic kicked the extra point, it was 21-13. But a very gutty drive by the Express brought them back. Kevin Nelson scored on the 1-yard touchdown run after Steve Young had kept the drive alive twice by running for the chains on third down. Then Young, unable to find a receiver on the 2-point conversion play, went in to make it 21-21. In regulation time, the Panthers had the football but allowed the clock to expire. In overtime, the Panthers drove into field goal territory, had a makeable field goal opportunity for Novo Bojovic. He missed it. The Express currently have the football at about midfield, and we are well into the overtime period now between Los Angeles and Michigan. Quickly now, let's take another look at what you saw today between New Jersey and Philadelphia. The game was played in Franklin Field, first football game there since 1971. A heavy rain pounded Franklin Field all morning, but let up just before game time, so they played, albeit for the first half, on a wet field. It was a scoreless first quarter, and in that first quarter, the Philadelphia Stars could gain only 12 yards of offense, -3 for Kelvin Bryant. And things looked tough for the Generals early, though, when Gary Barbaro left with this knee injury. Later, they lost offensive lineman Wayne Harris, too. Kelvin Bryant got untracked in the second quarter, scored on this 10-yard run. That made it 7-0 Philadelphia. And now the Stars were on their way. After a brief possession by New Jersey, Bob Grupp's punt was hauled in by Garcia Lane at the 30-yard line. Lane, who's been a strong addition to the Philadelphia secondary, went 70 yards with the punt return. Good block downfield by 84 Herman Harris. That made it 14-0 Philly and was the first touchdown punt return ever for the Stars. One possession later, Bryant scored again. This time, terrific catch between two defenders in the end zone. 11-yard touchdown pass from Piscina. Piscina completed every pass he threw in the second quarter, and suddenly the Stars were up 21-0. That was the way it was at halftime. Early in the fourth quarter, Bryant scored again on this 3-yard run on his way to a 117-yard rushing day. He also caught 2 passes for 35 yards. Later, the Generals scored on a Sipes to Collins touchdown pass. Here's a look at it from 14 yards out. And that made the final score 28-7 Philadelphia. Philadelphia will go on to play the winner of tomorrow's game between Tampa Bay and Birmingham. That game next Sunday, July 8th, live at 2:30 Eastern Daylight Time right here on ABC Sports. And if there is any remaining doubt as to who has more impact on a football game week in and week out in the USFL, Kelvin Bryant or Herschel Walker, between those two Atlantic Division running backs, I think the issue, at least temporarily, was settled today, as Bryant was the key player in Philadelphia's romp over New Jersey, and Walker, particularly in the second half, when New Jersey had to pass to try to come from behind, was not a factor in the ball game. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, they are still playing in the overtime game between Michigan and Los Angeles, and right now, let's take you out there, where the commentators are Tim Brandt and Lee Groscup.